Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand tongue with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, Georgics on the beat.
On the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
This one you back today.
Spoon.
Beseku.
Spoon TV. Spoon.
Balabaliba. Skidibidi dabado.
Spoon TV. Spoon Entertainment.
Kua. Beseku kudileo. Kua kudileo.
On the spoon to get
Yes,
your
I
information.
well.
On the spoon to be
Yes, I
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand tongue with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, Georgics on the beat.
on the spoon to get your information. On the spoon to be part of our discussion. Spoon, spoon, spoon television. Spoon, spoon, spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. The children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moravia, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Vonjema, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat keep on graduate, my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. yeah, Tuto Spoon. Yeah, Rastafari. Kilibamba, 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 kilibamba. What I want? This one you back today.
Spoon TV.
This one you back today.
Spoon TV. Spoon Spoon Entertainment.
Thanks, a special one from the CEO, Stanton with the spoon. And your boy, right in the South. Projects on the beat.
To get your to the spoon, to be part of our discussion. Spoon television. Spoon radio station.
Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Liberia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Monrovia. Spoon gonna tell you what is happening in Africa. Just to spoon you will know. If the children crying for starvation, just to spoon. You want to get a news update, my brother, to spoon. You want to know what is happening, Moreover, to spoon. Politicians want to make their decision, just to spoon. You want to know what happening in the ministry, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. You from Fonjama, Maryland, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. If you eat congratulate my brother, to spoon. You got a spoon TV, you got a spoon radio, to spoon. Yeah, to spoon. What? Yeah, Rastafari. Kiribaba.
Okay, folks. Today is Sunday,
From the CEO, Stanton with the spoon.
the 28th day of January, 2024. Today is the last Sunday in the month of January. And people have been complaining, how many months does January have? Yes, I intentionally said how many months does January have, because people say January hard to finish. January month. Finally. Today is the last Sunday of the month of January, and very soon we'll be entering the month of February. Then wahala with gas again. After talking about how January is a difficult month, how January is a hard month, the next thing we'll be talking about who posted who on Valentine's Day, who didn't post who. But the beautiful month of February starts on Thursday of this week. But our focus will be on tomorrow at the Capitol building. This time around, not outside in a compound, but within the rotunda of the Capitol building, the joint chambers, I've been told, of the Capitol building, where the president will be addressing the nation through the legislature. He'll be laying out his legislative agenda as enshrined in Article 58 of the 1986 Constitution, that reads, the president shall, let's say the president should, or the president will, or the president might, He says the president shall, and by saying shall, S-H-A-L-L, it is binding upon him. It is not something that he has got an option to say, oh, I will do it, I'm not doing it. No. Article 58 of the 1986 Constitution of Liberia says, the president shall, on the 4th working Monday in January of each year, present the administration's legislative program for the ensuing session, and shall once a year report to the legislature on the state of the republic in presenting the economic condition of the republic. The report shall cover expenditure as well as income. So now you understand the summary of what the SONA is, what the State of the Nation Address is, and what it should embody. The Constitution says the president shall, on the 4th working Monday in January of each year, present the administration's legislative program for the ensuing session. That is the session that is about to, be had, or the session that is ongoing, the ensuing session, and shall once a year report to the legislature on the state of the republic. In presenting the economic condition of the republic, the report shall cover expenditure as well as income. So on tomorrow, President Boakai is going to report to the legislature his legislative agenda, and also tell the Liberian people through the legislature the condition of the republic, the economic condition of the republic, what was spent as expenditure, what was used as expenditure, and what was earned by the country as income. So tomorrow, President Boakai is going to fulfill Article 58 of the 1986 Constitution. What are those things enshrined in his legislative agenda? What is he going to talk about? Drugs, with the appointment of A.B. Kroma as LDA boss designate. Is the president going to declare drugs a national emergency? Because during campaign period, people are singing, we die with a kush, we die with this, we die with that. And he said, I've heard your cries. Just last year, we're talking about 150 million worth of drugs. The infestation of kush in our country. The drug pandemic that has hit Liberia. People walking and acting just like zombies. Is he going to talk about drugs and how he plans on tackling drugs? What is the president going to say about the economic condition of the state? Is the state safe, sound when it comes to the economic condition? What did he inherit? He and his administration inherit an empty coffers, or what was left? Today in bombing, the president gave a hint at the First United Pentecostal Church, a church where President Boakai took baby steps. He was a student on that mission. He attended the First United Pentecostal School during his early days, and he went to visit the church today as a surprise visitor. He hinted and said, on tomorrow, when I tell you how dilapidated and destroyed this country has been in all facets, you wouldn't believe. According to President Boakai, if the CDC government had 3 extra years in power, Liberia would have been finished. He stated that. He also talked about how depressed the Western region is when it comes to jobs. He said, I know how depressed this place is. I grew up here. There used to be economic activities, but now nothing yet. And we need to attract investors to create jobs for our people. He said the youth are the future of our country. And if they have no jobs and nothing to turn to, do we have a future? So it is his responsibility, his administration's responsibility, to attract investors. to give the youth a future, to breathe the breath of economic life into this country. So yes, President Bwaka will talk about the economy tomorrow. What state is our country's economy in? He's also going to talk about security. We are key. We want to know. He's going to talk about the issue of unemployment. We want to know. Health, education, road projects. He made a promise in VOA last week that it was his last time passing through Sierra Leone to go to his hometown. He wants to make sure that road is constructed so Liberians will be listening. After all, his manifesto, his campaign ran on a theme of arrest. So we want to hear from President Bwaka on tomorrow. What plans this ensuing session of the legislature, what plans does he have for our country? What does he have for our country? How did he inherit the country? What is he going to do? His agenda to resuscitate this country. And President Bwaka said on today, he's going to restore the dignity of our people. So we'll be listening on tomorrow. President cracked some jokes today. He was all smiling, presented gifts and everything. But that is that. Beyond the gifts, presentation and everything, what are his plans for the country? So tomorrow, yes, the State of the Nation address will be delivered by His Excellency, the President of the Republic of Liberia, Joseph Yuman Boakai Sr., the House of Representatives Chair on Executive, Representative Emmanuel Dan, did take a team of journalists around the joint chambers of the Capitol on today to show how prepared they are. And tomorrow, the Spoon Network is going to bring you, as we have always been doing, unprecedented and we pray uninterrupted coverage of the president's first State of the Nation address, first of 6 that he's to deliver to the Liberian people for his first tenure. And whether or not he won another 6, that one another conversation for another day. So folks, how are you doing? Hope you had a wonderful, wonderful day. Last Sunday of the month. This is Liberia's biggest talk. This is the Spoon Talk, coming to you live from Spoon House here in Congo Town. We're also being relayed on other stations across Liberia, across Bomi, Cape Mount, Bapolu, that's the Western Cluster, Central Liberia, Bong and Nimba, Northern Liberia, Bong, that's Lofa, Southeastern Liberia, and the rest of the regions making up Liberia. Spoon Talk is widely followed, and via YouTube on Spoon Talk, and also via Spoon TV. People watching Spoon Talk all around the world. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and to my people in Liberia, pleasant night to you as well. We'll open the phone lines, and then you call in and tell us what's on your minds. What do you expect to hear from the president on tomorrow as he delivers his first State of the Nation address? The numbers to call 0777-1075, 0555-101075. Those are the numbers to call. 1 minute per caller, please, so that at least we can accommodate as many callers as possible. Hello?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine. Your name and where you calling us from, please?
I'm there, New Jersey.
Yeah, go ahead, ma'am, please.
So the president will do well. The president don't do well, and we know you will do president too. We don't do that. In the country, but we know the president will see. We can see the future of Liberia. And I think the phone network so good. We the campaign just full of bodies, full of WhatsApp, full of routines. But now everybody wants to be, even the opposition wants to be with school. So school, I'm very working for school, and more continue, and I want to be a the president. I want to end the speech, I want to ever have a monitor, you take a car outside. So I say, thank you.
Thank you, Alma.
He will recover, but not kind of get in Jesus' name.
All right, ma'am. Amen. Amen. Thank you for calling. We appreciate you too. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, here you are, please.
Yeah, how you doing? Is this?
This is Spoon FM. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, I follow you, but I just want to appreciate your hard work. And tomorrow we all be listening to get all the information for the President Joseph Nyiman Praga.
All right. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Thank you.
077771075 055101075. Those are the numbers to call. Tell us what's on your mind. Tomorrow, President Boyka addresses the nation through the legislature to present his legislative agenda and also to give a report on the state of the nation. He's to give his annual report through the legislature on the state of the republic. So let's take this person here. Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, sir. And you?
My concern this evening is directed with LEC issue. Because LEC is charged some people every month, besides the recharging we're doing. But then when you recharge, you can't marginalize the current at the end of the day, you're in the heat. So the way the president will get a new leader, I pray that he will do better towards LEC issue. People, the manager are there so they can get rid of him and put up better manager.
So you say what you can have when you buy a car?
When you buy current every month, LEC will take $170 as tax.
They take 10% off your first recharge of every month.
But that should not be so because I'm paying money directly for the current.
So LEC had explained that already. Is their tax? They take the tax from your first recharge every month, 10%, and then they don't touch your recharge voucher until the next month.
Okay.
So,
since I recharged the last time, it took 3 days and after the current came the evening.
Yeah, my brother. I want to buy. We all inside that door. Yeah.
But you know what you're supposed to do? Just about getting that, you should stop operating on my energy.
My brother, but this thing is far beyond President Boyka. This is a technical issue. There should be a review from the legislature to see, even the president can constitute a review to see what's causing the problem. LEC says it's the water level due to the dry season and all of that. They usually give out press releases. I'm not a spokesperson for LEC though, but I do follow their press releases as well. So it's I encourage you to, to follow their press releases. They need to come and pay for announcements here at our station so that we can be announcing those press releases that they put on the social media. Because now everybody has got a phone to go on Facebook, though. I'm sure they've been doing it with other radio stations, but they need to reach out to the People's Radio Station so that people can be aware as to what's happening, when it comes to their light. All right. So the whole LEC issue, now that he has brought it up, is something that affects the entire region where LEC supplies Monserrado as well. This issue of load shedding is something that we all have been living with. Hello. Kindly reduce the volume of whatever device you're using to listen. Please, the feedback is terrible.
Okay, sorry.
Hello.
Yeah, hello.
Your name and where you calling us from?
My name is Moses Sugo for PMS.
Let's hear you out, please.
Well, I want to focus on the cleaner. The city is very good. We have to focus on you to appoint the clean city.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I'm starting this spoon.
Okay. It's good to know. Let's take this person. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Let's hear you out, please.
How you doing, Damo?
I'm okay. Go ahead.
This is Peter Watson, the Governor General of Deboro.
It's a pleasure hearing from you again, Mr. Washington.
I want to appreciate the school family. I want to appreciate all of you guys. You're doing well for our country. Of course, when you post out there, to be saying, oh, how to everyone is biased, do they want, okay? All what we want to say. Or at least, as though what you're saying for your continue, don't have to father, if you commit do wrong, just go against it too and stop. Let good thing happen for this nation. So I want to appreciate you, appreciate Nelson, appreciate everyone. That's our CEO. I want to appreciate
appreciate everybody and down to the manager, Madam Tiki Kane. All of you, I appreciate good all of you.
Thank you, sir. Well appreciated. 077771075 05551010075. We appreciate the fact that people commend what we do. We're here for you. This is the people's station, as our former CEO usually says. This is for everybody. But the question is, what do you expect from President Boyka's first State of the Nation address? What are those key points you want him to touch on? What are you eager to hear him say when it comes to drugs, when it comes to employment, when it comes to this whole salary harmonization thing that took place, when it comes to restoring investors' appetite in coming to Liberia, and the rest of those things, even the LEC issue? What are his administration's plans, to shift us from this hydro-powered electricity that we have issues with, to whether or not they will bring renewable energy into Liberia? What are they planning on doing to remedy all of these things? What do you want to hear President Boyka say when he addresses the country on tomorrow? That is the question, and then you can tell us what's on your mind as well. Let's take this person. Hello.
Hello, my dear brother Diamond.
How are you, sir?
Okay.
I'm okay. Let's see how you are.
I'm calling from Louisiana.
Okay. From where?
Louisiana.
In Caldwell?
Yeah, Upper Caldwell.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't surprise what my woman is going to do tomorrow. He's going to say the words and that he will stand by. Yes, because I know what he can do. But please, one of the problems I have here is that more you people take the own microphone to the nearby villages. Please do that for me.
When you say we should take the microphone to the villages, what are we actually going to do there with the microphone then?
Yeah. Oh, brother Damo, one day take your microphone around Louisiana area and you hear some stories you laugh. Just a number down the stream and you just call me one day.
All right, Chief.
Please.
All right. We'll do. Let's take this person here. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You live on Spoon Talk. Go ahead, please.
This is Charles F. calling from Omatari.
You're welcome, Charles. Please go ahead.
Yeah, for me, I know the people will say some good things about this nation. But I am ready thinking on the men that they talk about going to the trust and the ECOWAS. Okay, let the guy do the trust check. We already want for the people to fight trust. To do the trust check. We want to do the trust check before they take the position, after the confirmation or before the confirmation. Let them do the trust check. Because the nation, when you come around every year, so we feel bad about the error we're living. So you can't be taking trust that you fight trust. It will be very hard. So let's do a trust check. If they can't do a trust check, they probably withdraw the appointment. Thank you.
So you're saying President Boyka should make it mandatory that each appointee or nominee should do drug test?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay. All right, sir.
Thank you.
All right. Yeah. All right. We'll take 3 more calls from Liberia, and then we'll pin the WhatsApp number to take calls from those watching Spoon TV. Hello.
Evening, Thomas Manga.
Hello to you, sir.
Yeah. This is the John Marvolo, and I joined for Lower Magidi County District 1.
Go ahead, sir. You're welcome.
My man this evening, my brother, is about the president, Joseph Boyka, tomorrow is State of the Nation address. He should be telling the people to all of this guy, because we learned that guy are leaving the country. They are now going through the auditing process. They are then leaving the country. So we want to know the date set up so they can send for them and audit them, because these guys took a lot of money from the country and they want to go unpunished. So we want President Boyka tomorrow to reflect the State of the Nation address, and also the security sector. How best just the minister to be straightened up, because a lot of trusts that went in the spy government, so there's no good investigation. So we want him tomorrow to reflect on the issue about the auditing of the people, because we don't want them to go unpunished. We want them to be there and how many dollars are left into our there, because former President we had told us that he left 200 million. So, President, I got the president tomorrow on the national address. Then he said, how many dollars he has left into the reserve. Former President George Weah. So we don't want him to say broke on economy because we don't believe President Weah the 200 million he's talking about. Thank you very much this evening.
Thank you. Thank you as well. He's calling for audit of past officials in the past government. He wants to know how much was left in the coffers. Hello?
Hello.
Yes, here you are, please.
Hey, I'm Mother Teresa calling from School Village.
Welcome, Mother Teresa. Let's hear you out, please.
Yeah, I didn't want to talk about the AMA the other day and talk about the Federation of Transport to the government safety. They can check the before they put they get parking for the passengers then. They don't have then the AMA to getting money or they don't even have pay for they can't pay the debt. Then my next something here is the government then I know when they will be paying that the people then that they own, I know that the government will pay or that the past government.
Government are government, man. So if the government inherited the arrears of those who worked, it's incumbent upon them to see how best they can resolve that issue. I'm sure they'll work on that. All right, man. Thank you. Okay, so we'll take one more person and then we'll move to the WhatsApp number. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Your live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I thank you, Diamond. I've been wishing to call you to thank you for raising your life October and the November. No, I thank you. I thank God for your life.
Amen.
I thank God for a spoon that relieved us of this serious, dangerous tragedy that we Liberians are going through on our past region. My expectation, I said, I called one time, as I said, I worked with one guy before, I know who he is, and I expect all the goods from him tomorrow. But I thank you, the spoon, for this rescue mission. Thank you for rescuing Liberia from the cruel hand of the power regime. And I hope Wakai, he hearing me tonight too, that he will do something about it. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So we leave it at that for now. And we'll move to the WhatsApp line and take calls from those watching from around the world via Spoon TV. So I'm about to pin the WhatsApp number on your screen. It's 23 minutes up to 9 p.m. You're listening to the biggest talk in the country. This is the Spoon Talk, the talk of all talks. And this is the WhatsApp number. 1 minute, please, for me to pin the WhatsApp number that you can use to call and tell us what's on your mind as well. What do you expect from the president's delivery tomorrow of his very first State of the Nation address? What will be his legislative agenda? When he's reporting and presenting the economic condition of the country, he will tell us the expenditure, he will tell us the income, he will tell us debts, he will tell us grants, he will tell us what road projects are there to be undertaken, what it is that he wants the legislature to do in aiding him to run the affairs of the country. Liberians are eager. Liberians want to know the first 100 days. TikTok is going. On Monday, it will be 7 days since he was inaugurated. 1 week. Take 7 from 100. We left with 93. So Liberians are counting the days. His 100 days deliverables. He said within 100 days, all the roads will be passable. People will be passing, to go to the various counties and all that. He didn't say you put rehabilitate, do what they have to do and make them passable for people to use. Liberians have jotted down those promises. And as the spirit of accountability and transparency has crept into our society, we will be holding the White Guys administration's feet to the fire to deliver to be accountable, to be everything that they criticized the other government of not being. And this culture we want to develop in. All right, so let's go to the WhatsApp line in a jiffy. We want to do some technical connections quickly. We'll be back with you in a minute, and then we'll go to the WhatsApp lines as well.
Smooth entertainment. Smooth entertainment.
All right, folks, welcome back. Now, the WhatsApp number is pinned on the screen. You can call that number and let's hear you what's on your mind. Let's hear you what's on your mind quickly before the rest of the panelists join the show. The number is on the screen for you to call. Okay, let's take this person here. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Chief. How are you?
I'm fine. I'm Stephen Kelly calling from Rhode Island, USA.
You're welcome, Mr. Kelly. Please go ahead.
Okay. So, few things I want to, I think I will expect to hear from our leader has to do with the audit of the past government. Second, I would like to hear also on employment, because we already know how more youth in the country without job. Secondly, thirdly, I would like to hear on the various prices reduction, the major commodities on our market. Thank you ever so much, Tom, for your time.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Chief.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
So we'll take this next person by on the line. Zero. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Yes, let's hear you out, please.
So my name is Atia, and I call from Magibi.
Atia, go ahead.
So we Magibi are concerned on the cabinet minister being appointed so far by Ambassador Barker. We have not yet any Magibi so far, and we very, very voted for Unity Party. We get denied our candidate from being part of the cabinet committees or member.
Come here, 1 minute. I'm trying to check something out. If you don't mind being on the line for a minute, if that wouldn't,
No problem, go ahead.
Yes. I'm trying to look at the nomination, the counties.
No name there. Magibi is not part of all the names that I'm listed. The two person, the one person, the one that said all the names listed. Magibi is not even part of it.
Okay.
So that Magibi, that River says, that River G, they are not part of that nominee. But I was talking about Magibi.
Okay.
Why Magibi is not part of the cabinet member so far? So yeah, so we stay.
So he's got 5 more to go, right? 5 more ministries to name people to. And there's about let me get the total number. I don't want to just give out figures, but the SOEs there is a very large number of state-owned enterprises and agencies left for the president to appoint people to. So that being said, again, I'm not the official spokesperson of the presidency. It's the job of Madam Kula Fofana to explain the president's decisions to the Liberian people. But with information that we do have, we assist in sharing information of our people. So I will address what you said by looking at the list of ministerial nominees so far per county as well. But thank you for flagging that.
Thank you. So also,
you get plenty?
I just want to get on. I don't want to keep it about tomorrow again.
Yeah, I think we'll have to do that one. Season will keep some. because there
No
are others
problem.
who want to
So
contribute
keep it
as
on.
well.
So just tell Ambassador Barker, say, my giving people stay. I mean, waiting on you that sharp waiting for the pronouncement one of their songs that don't need.
He listens to Spoon Talk every night, and I'm sure he's listening. What makes you think I got proximity to the president? I can't go to him and say, oh, yeah, like Maggie listening to you.
Damo way, Damo. Anyway, that president go, Damo is there. Damo. Anyway, that president go, is there, Damo.
Okay, so we have 40 state-owned enterprises, 40, that nobody's been named to so far in terms of the list. You have 40 state-owned enterprises. You have 3 security agencies left. You have 5 ministries still left. So there's plenty to go around for Margibi to benefit from. You have the NPA, you have the central bank that has got 2 years left. You have the Forestry Development Authority. You have the Liberia Electricity Corporation. You have the EPA. The list is very, very long. 40 state-owned enterprises and agencies.
Yeah, so we are raising the concern so that.
All right, my man. Probably give you some. We'll see you. Yeah.
So I beg you, Damo. So please tell Pabe to do anymore. Pabe, the end of Pabe got Damo there.
I mean later, but
all right.
All right. Let's take this person here. Hello. Hello.
Hey, Diamond, how you doing, my brother?
I'm doing great, sir. Kindly don't mind the feedback because it's a bit delayed. Just talk to me in real time, please.
All right. Yes. So, are you getting me?
Loud and clear. Please go ahead.
All right. So, Dama, here is the problem. I know we have spoken a lot about every other thing and very little about the root cause. Now, the reason why you see a lot of these third world countries, specifically African countries, and Liberia, going the way they're going is one thing. There is a basic core principle that we miss: the rule of law. The rule of law is very, very important. The rule of law drives every other thing. People talk about competence, all of that. But without the rule of law, my brother, nothing's going to work. You got to ensure that your institutions are strengthened once again. If you look at Liberia, look at the police. Where are the police? Where's the police department? Look at even in the street. Look at the unit. Those guys don't even appear to be police. Look at the uniform they wear. Some of them wearing slippers. That shows you that the institution is not working. So without the rule of law, there is no accountability until people are held accountable in Liberia. That means if you invest the money, if you misbehave as public servant, you go to jail. Without these punishments, if there's still much to go to impunity, nothing is going to work, no matter how Honorable Barker tries. So what I would love to hear from you tomorrow, I want emphasis to be put on rule of law. Not just saying it, but the first day, the first 100 days, I want to see it working. I want to see the rule of law at work. In other words, I want to see those institutions working. I want to see the legislative branch checking on the executive. Because in the past, I mean, all of the power has been accumulated in the executive. Now, take for instance, Obonwia administration. Obonwia could go to the judiciary and bribe Captain Hill because he has all the power. It shouldn't work that way.
Okay,
we have 3 branches of government.
Okay.
We want to see judiciary working. We want to see the oversight and check and balance.
All right, sir.
So let us see that rule of law again reawakening in Liberia. I want to see the institution working once again. That's what I love to hear tomorrow.
Thank you. All right, so we take this person here. Hello.
Yes, hello. This is Diamond.
Yes, sir. You live? This is Spoon Talk. Diamond on the line.
Yeah, okay, Diamond. Thank you so much. This is Otelo George calling from Minnesota.
You're welcome, Mr. George.
Yeah. Firstly, let me appreciate you guys, especially you guys, the reporters and things from Spoon. You guys have been doing extremely well because without you guys, some of us won't even get to know what is actually unfolding in Liberia.
Thank you.
Okay, and then one of the things I keep hearing people saying, the president said, he made a promise that he was going to make sure that all of his cabinet ministers are representation of the 15 counties. But here's the thing. So what if the president cannot find a particular person from a particular county that fits, let's take example that fits defense. The person doesn't have any knowledge on the Ministry of Defense. It's not because he made a promise that, oh, I will take. Here's the thing. The thing is that if it's not possible, it's just not possible. They got other cabinet, other deputy, assistant minister. GMB has a lot of work to do, so we need to give him a chance. You see, the expectation of Librarian is so high that you want everything to be done in a single day time, and it's not possible, Damo. Let's be honest, it's not possible. We need to give the system a chance to work. If we find out here that things not working, if they may, or they look at Damo is the minister of information. And we'll give Dama some time to perform. If Dama is not performing up to the task, then, I mean, we'll see things not working. I mean, he'll be replaced. Exactly. Too far, yes. Exactly. It's exactly, but apparently others getting it the other way around, and I think they need to give him chance. Just President Bwaka is a smart old man, and I know exactly. For me, there another thing before I leave the line. One thing we need to also do. Yeah, one thing we need to also do is that inaugural program. Those who are heading it, they need to be audited. Give account of what went wrong, so we should know. And it's not just auditing them. If they find out that 1 cent,
but the IAA has already
eating.
instituted an audit into the inauguration committee. They said they're going to audit them, so that is a step in the right direction.
That's what I say. If they find out that 1 cent was missing, that person should produce that 1 cent, or else they should be prosecuted.
All right, sir.
Simple as that.
All right.
Thank you so much, Madam. Have a blessed day.
You too. All right. So Liberians this time around is saying, don't chop and go. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Kindly don't mind the feedback. Just talk to me in real time. Your name and where you joining us from, please.
Hello, Daman. My name is Mo Ketamba, calling from United Kingdom.
You're welcome, Mo. Go ahead. What's on your mind? What do you expect from the president's first SONA tomorrow?
Yeah, I have two major issues to be raised here. My first concern is the security around the executive mansion. When I visited the country last year, I can remember April, I was not impressed with the security situation. And I am asking the incoming government to do everything to replace all these guys.
We already do have a government. The current government.
The current government to replace all that are working around the executive mansion.
To replace all of them.
All of them, my brother. I'm telling you the fact. We that here, we know what's going on there. Most of these guys, they are not qualified to serve in that area. Majority of them, they were recruited by Jefferson Koji. Believe me, we that here, we know. Most of you guys in that country, you guys are not informed. But we that here, we are well informed.
Okay.
So that's my advice. That's my advice to the current government. Replace them. I don't care who they are, but just replace them as soon as possible. Believe me.
So why not do a vetting process? Give them tests to take, look and see if they're qualified, if they're competent. Those who will be selected after whatever test or regimen is done, and then you can have them, retrain or train on the job and all that kind of stuff, rather than just going for them in bulk and saying guilty by association and taking them all from there. How do you determine who was recruited allegedly by former Mayor Koji and who wasn't? Shouldn't you give them the benefit of the doubt to prove their competence before just getting rid of all of them?
Okay, Daman, I agree with you. That is another good option. The same thing apply with the police force. Our police force in Liberia. When I visited our country, I was not impressed. I was in tears, to be honest. And my second concern is the drugs. There are so many drugs today in Monrovia. I don't know who is serving as a drugs or the commander. I don't know who is serving in that area.
The
But
designated
I am.
LDA boss is Abraham Krumah, former 102 of the Liberian National
Oh,
Police.
that's brilliant because these are the drugs, that are destroying our youth today in that country.
All right, sir.
They get someone a drug called Kush. Kush has become popular drugs today in West Africa. Most of our youth today, they are being destroyed because of the drugs.
All right, sir. So we have to leave it at that. You're making good points, but we also have to take others and give them an opportunity. We only have but 5 minutes, and we want to squeeze in
Thank you,
others
Dama.
as well to give
Thank
their
you.
views.
Thank
All right,
you,
sir, thank
Dama.
you.
Thanks so much, my brother.
You're welcome. Let's take this person here. Hello. 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 Okay, so we lost that person. Hello.
My name is Lekoje Dula. I'm calling from Arizona, the US.
You're welcome. Go ahead, sir. What's on your mind? What do you expect from President Biden on tomorrow?
Yeah, before I explain what's on my mind, I will send you text after my heart to say. So what on my mind is I want the president to amend the appointment of the security actors. Take for example, like the AB Kroma and the Gregory Code, they should be working by now. Confirmation will come later. But this time the police and they should be in action. Because as we speak, drugs are still, making their way to Liberia is dangerous.
But
so right now, I would think
other administrators of the Liberian National Police, the LDA, to run their affairs until those nominees can be confirmed.
Dama, as we speak, nobody know where they stand for now. All county commander, depot commander, they don't even know whether they will stay there or not. So right now, I would expect the president to say, AB Kroma, Gregory Kroma, start working, pending your confirmation, because the issue of drugs is serious now. Yeah, so I think everybody will reason. You see, because right now, the new AB will send serious, confusion in the council of the drug users. But until you can take, you can take office, they put their smart, they are still making their way. So I would just think that tomorrow the president speaks, okay, AB Kroma, start working, pending your confirmation. So Dama, I was saying test after our discussion because they're not easy to get him up again. It's bad.
Okay,
so I will say you test, I will explain myself to you, then we'll talk later, yeah?
All right, Chief. Thank you for calling.
Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
So we do have a process, how things work, and I'm sure the 100 designate, Gregory Coleman, has been in conversation with his men in terms of how things are running their affairs. There is a whole National Security Advisory Board and all of these things. So once you are nominated to steer the affairs of a certain institution, prior to confirmation, you're already trying to make your way to know what's going on, getting a feel of the ground and all of those things. I will take this last person here, and then we'll conclude on what's on your mind for tonight until the phone lines will be activated during the latter part of the show. Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. You live?
Hello, Dama. How are you?
I'm doing great, Chief.
Thank you so much. The first thing I want to begin by commending you. I see you got a nice bob now. Good haircut.
You go behind printing from yesterday buyer. How are you trying to cope with a new thing?
Okay, so I'm Jerry calling from Free. I'm Jerry calling from Freetown.
Okay, Jerry.
Dama, I think I want to just cycle back on the point the last caller who dropped the line spoke of, the issue of drugs. And it is very, very serious. If you look at our generation now, especially, this generation going to the next generation of young people we see in Liberia, if we are not paying attention, Liberia will go down the drain because we got a lot of our young people on drugs. We need serious rehabilitation in that country. It is very, very serious. You won't know the impact, Dama, until you go to those camps. Sometimes when I go to Liberia, I take my time quietly to visit those camps and see these guys.
We know the impact. We know the impact because in order for those who are hooked on drugs to feed their habits, they have to get involved in petty crimes. Some even get involved in major crimes. So now, if I can weather my car battery, just like iron bar, and lock it, you know, that tells you we're feeling the impact. Before we used to see our disadvantaged brothers on Broad Street and red light. Now they're all in the communities. You can put your iron down right here. You put your iron down, so you turn your basket, it lost. You can put your slipper down, it lost.
I mean,
so we
Dama,
we know the
on
impact.
The air. We're on the air. I don't want to ask you how old are you, but I remember when back in the days, people used to put fence around their buildings for design, for decoration.
No fence, not design. Oh wow, I lost him there. So that's all the time we have. I'm sorry. That's all the time we have to take calls. But he was making a brilliant point. But everybody in Liberia knows the impact of unemployment, the impact of the drugs infestation. We all feel it. We all know. Yeah, you know, the fact that when you take a look around your community, you see friends that you grew up with, you know, have been hooked on drugs. They've been hooked on other substances. The level of unemployment is too high. You look at you, a little of nothing. You want to do stuff that are minimal jobs and all this kind of stuff. So we do know the impact of all these things, and that is why Liberians are eager to hear what President Barker would say concerning the drugs infestation, employment rate in our country as well, attracting investors. I listen to, but before I say all of that, Boombreaker, I'm leaving the show because I know what you want to say. So whether I stay or whether I go, you still stay. But
No. I'm not going to say anything. I just want
I don't trust that thing. I don't trust that thing.
No. I just want church.
Yeah. But I don't trust that thing.
Yeah, I just want church. You know, I ain't going to say anything. That I can tell you. You know, I can assure you that as it is right now, I'm very peaceful, very quiet, and I won't say anything.
Amen.
We are getting feedback from your end. You got something on?
None that I know of. The phones are all off.
Yeah, there's no need to talk. I mean, everybody get the childhood name. Yours.
There you go. There you go.
I don't know why would they call you Baby T. You know, are you Ice T? Are you Mr. T? You know, but they call you Baby T. It was your official childhood name, Baby T. So I'm not going to call that name on the show. We're going to be very professional. I'm going to call you a Diamond and Slanger, not Baby T. I'm not calling you Baby T, though it was your name given to you by your parents. You know, we begin to understand your history. You know, they got him. We begin to understand your name. And, you know, but that's okay. It's fine. So, was that really your name, Baby T?
Oh, asking me, say you're not coming by that name again.
No, I have to ask. I say I'm not calling you by that name, but I have to ask you a question.
Yes, okay. It is.
Why would they call you Baby T? Why? Why your mother or your father decided to call you Baby T?
My middle name is Nyanti.
Nyanti.
Nyantee.
Okay.
So instead of calling me Nyanti all of the time, you know, they just pointed and said.
So it's not a letter T.
Yeah, it's Tee.
Oh, okay. Yanti.
Yeah. So say you want to say it now.
So you know the meaning of Yanti?
Yeah, I know the meaning of Yanti.
What Yanti mean?
One for the future.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. So I mean, at the end of the day, this is what it is. We are not going to blame you, Baby T, but it's good that you're producing the show today.
I know you are just waiting for me to come on here and pray. Like when did you go
for me? Do that. I want everybody to call you Baby T. Everybody that watching the show, that's your name, man. Be proud of your name.
I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. Some people used to call them Pugu Noosh. Some people used to call them Baby Lump. Some people need to.
But I mess up name though. Though that's your name, but I mess up name.
Yeah. Anyway, I just leave it because
No, I say anything, PBT. I say anything. I mean, they got up with this stepping today on this game, man. But listen, we're gonna have Edwin Snow. Something crazy is happening. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. They say, you know what? We're done with your ECOWAS. We are leaving. ECOWAS have what? 15 country, right?
Yeah, member states.
Three of them leaving. They say you can keep your 12. And who best to talk to us today on this issue? Edwin Melvin Snow. The man been there since he was representative, and he stayed there. But why are they leaving though? Why this today? The decision that came out today. Why? That's what
Well, from what I read, yeah, from what I read,
really going on that those countries that involve themselves in coup d'etat, right? Military takeover. They say we're leaving. You sanction us, we're leaving. You didn't treat us right, we're leaving. So, I mean, Ellis Stallo just jumping on this thing, but Edwin Snow is the man. So I want Edwin Snow to tell Liberians, I mean, the region, is the region safe? I want, you see, the daughter, when I start talking, then they backing. Yeah. Can somebody can take the daughter on a vacation to Chicken Soup Factory and see whether they will come back? But that one is very important. I was listening to Burkina Faso president, right? That one, I think I sent that to you if you can upload it.
Yeah.
And to tell you the truth, man, ECOWAS, I don't know what Edwin Snow will say today, but ECOWAS is shaking. ECOWAS is shaking. And this guy, he doesn't stay home. He's up and down that region, Damo. I believe with the situation right now, Snow is about to jump in the plane and leave. I really want to ask him whether he would just get in the plane and just say, I'm out. But it's concerning. It's very, very concerning. Coup d'etat in Burkina Faso, coup d'etat in Guinea, coup d'etat in Niger, coup d'etat in Mali. You name them. What's the work of ECOWAS? Is our region safe? That's why we are here today. Let's welcome Glendy. Glendy, how you doing?
I'm doing good though.
Glendy, can you tell the people your first text message to me today was what time?
Can you please leave me alone this Sunday? You went to church today?
I did. I came from church.
Okay.
I was in church. Prior to going to church, you sent me the text. I was in church and you sent me the text.
Look at trouble.
Yeah, I just want to let the people know.
I'm sure the people you're on the text message that you sent.
I beg you, anytime, every day, please do. Every day, I beg you.
Hello, everybody.
I am very, very transparent. I am very, very transparent. Everybody know that I am.
I know.
Well, I can't wait for Edwin Snow. And Ellis Coffey will join us today on this conversation. Likewise, Dr. Richardson and the rest of the team on a beautiful Sunday, wet Sunday, by the way. The Kansas City Chiefs and Baltimore Ravens playing.
Yeah,
Kansas City
Ravens
up by
Ravens.
7.
I'm cheering for Ravens today.
But they're beating you guys. Second quarter, 3:28 to go. It's 14-7. You guys have 2 fumble, so it's just not looking good.
That's okay. We'll make it.
Let's see. You still got 2 more quarters to go. You're right. You can bounce by.
We have time.
Yeah, you can bounce by. Yeah, man. But I want us to play this thing. Edwin Snow will be with us shortly. I can announce on Tuesday we have the designated public work minister designate, Mr. Roland Giddens. We have him on the show on Tuesday. We're going to be probably bringing the designated, the newly appointed gender minister. I'm talking to her, Women Cuddy. We're going to bring all of them.
Yeah.
They got to tell the Liberian people the way forward. I'm going to bring the general minister this week. Public work is coming in this week. We're going to start speaking to some of the lawmakers.
You got education.
Yeah. We're going to bring them. They need to tell Liberians, the plans for the position that they have been appointed to. So it's very, very important for us to do this thing. But how was your day, Glennie? While we set this thing up, I want us to play this video. Once we play it, we'll ask Senator Snow to come on. Let's talk quietly. How was your day, Glennie?
It was good. Good Sunday. It's a little chilly, but it was good.
Yeah, and those dogs are still crying, right?
I hearing it.
I'm still looking for a babysitter for them.
The video is up. It's named ECOWAS.
Yeah, but that one, why are you running going? So guys, we're gonna play this. We're gonna play the video. We want you to listen. I think this is Burkina Faso president. Let's listen to what he has to say, and then we'll listen to the announcement from Niger this morning. We're going to bring in Edwin Evans Snow, Senator Snow from Bombay County, to talk to us about ECOWAS. I have another video. Have you guys seen the video? I want us to play this video and get it all of the way. Prince Johnson in church today. And I want someone to call Prince Johnson. I will ask him why. What? Listen, folks, let's just play the video briefly before we can even play this, talk about the serious issue. Let's play Prince Johnson video today.
Those who wrote the speech, I was so sorry the Bishop of come. In inauguration day, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about our effort to bring a new regime. Then we're sitting down with happiness. You go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then you go there, I will tell United Nations, I will tell US, I will bring 1 gram for you. Because you think 1 gram for Prince Johnson? And by the time the old man was bringing, when he got to the place,
Did you see that?
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Prince Johnson is crazy. I have never seen such a craziness.
But
I want you guys to pay attention. He said just when JMB were reaching to the sanction, we're bringing 1 gram coaching.
Unbelievable.
Wait. Why make it unbelievable? Why?
Well, because why would he think that they won't talk about war crimes?
That's not the message he was giving.
What a message he gave.
You gotta get the fun out of this thing, man. Come on.
I see him going down because he laughing at JMB. I see that. I see that part. But it's almost like he's trying to counteract what they're saying and making fun out of it. Crazy.
You gotta get. Wait, let's play this thing one more time, folks. Damo, come back there. What, Damo? Come on, you're missing the fun over here. I want you guys to please pay attention. This is Prince Johnson. This is not me. Sometimes we do this thing to set the stage, right?
Yeah.
Ready? This is your Nima County Senator. Senior Senator, Godfather.
Godfather.
He going to what? 27 years now?
Yeah, he's well. 9, and then 9.
He's going to 27 years. This is the third term. Yeah. So this is your senator.
Mocking the president.
Those who wrote the speech, I was so sorry the Bishop of come. In inauguration day, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about our effort to bring a new regime. Then we're sitting down with happiness. You go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then you go there, I will tell United Nations, I will tell US, I will bring 1 gram for you. Because you think 1 gram for Prince Johnson? And by the time the old man was bringing, when he got to the place,
No. Listen, I can't do this. I beg you guys. Somebody help me. Listen, listen, Prince Johnson just making fun. That thing.
Is that the only fun he can make to mock his president? Not that.
Oh, Lord,
mock his president.
But what you make of it, Dr. Richardson, welcome to the show. Prince Johnson says, "Snap paper reach today. Welcome, we come. Sunshine, we come. Paper start
falling down. They can't print that kind of paper for that 79-year-old man to read."
But wait, who tells you I can laugh at JMB too?
You can laugh at him.
You think JMB that joke we are? We laugh at JMB. Why we can laugh at him? Wait, Prince Johnson said, go read. No. So what Prince Johnson is saying, maybe he's right. Go back and watch the show. I think it was the line that the president reached to, then the president, start getting overheated. I think so. Is it wrong, Dr. Richardson?
I don't remember.
Go and watch bringing Snow on. I want to bring Snow on. But is it wrong, though?
I don't know. I will have to watch it.
Is this fun to you?
It's not funny to me. It's not funny to me at all. He said they can't go get that paper.
Whenever you go to Liberia, you go to Niba, you scared of her. Prince Johnson, when I see you in Niba.
Prince Johnson said 79-year-old Papa is struggling to read. Can you imagine?
Folks, we're going to talk about the region. We're going to talk about ECOWAS. You have 15 states within ECOWAS now. They have been reduced to 12. But while we wait for Edwin Snow to come on, the senator from Bombing County, let me just tell you, you have two senators on that ECOWAS seat representing Liberia from the Senate, two of them, Alex Starter and Edwin Mervyn Snow. All right. But let's also agree that I want you to incorporate in this, lay back and joke. And I'm going to ask Snow on this joke. So I really want to bring in Senator Snow. Then I will play the Prince Johnson clip one last time because I want to hear what's.
I swear.
Prince Johnson a bad dude. Prince Johnson is wicked. I want to bring. Well, we can't even talk about ECOWAS without talking about this clip. Senator Snow, welcome.
Thank you, Stan. Thank you. How are you, sir?
All this well, man. How you doing? All right. I was in church.
Thank God. Happy to see you.
I was in church. Somebody sent me the clip, and I started laughing. And the pastor looked at me and thought I was laughing at his teaching, but I was laughing because of the clip. It's good to have you, and it's good to have everyone. I beg you, before we even talk about why you're here, I must play this clip one more time for the sake of our audience. Before we even talk about why you're here, please. Our audience asks you up to play. Alex, welcome to the show. Alex, how you doing?
Thank you, Stanton, and Dr. Francine, Glendy, and my own friend Edwin. How you doing, my man?
Alex, Happy New Year. What's up, my man?
Since the last time we spoke, that was last year, some time ago. Right?
So, Alex, you remember saying something. We have not even introduced ourselves yet. We got to play this Prince Johnson clip because I want to push Senator Snow. I want to get his response, right? Prince Johnson says something to let's just play it. Speak for himself.
Those who wrote the speech, I was so that the bishop was come. In November, everybody happy. We are rejoicing over the defeat of the old regime. We are rejoicing about our effort to bring a new regime. Then we're sitting down with happiness. You go write paper for that 79-year-old man. He's struggling to read. Then before that, I will tell United Nations, I will tell US, I will bring 1 gram for you. Because you think 1 gram for Prince Johnson? And by the time the old man was reading, when he got to the place,
Oh, Lord, my sister. Okay, I said nothing. I'm not going to say anything. Every one of you saw the clip. It's out there. We're going to put it on our page. Let's know it for the fun. Don't be serious. Just the fun of it. So, no, Snow, welcome to the show. What you make of Prince Josie and, illustrating such a very, very beautiful, taking a shot at the old man, those that wrote the speech.
I think Stanton, I'd like for Snow, can you adjust your camera a little bit so you reflect your
Is this better now?
No, you want to bring it up on your chest a little bit. That's what he meant. Just elevate your camera to your chest. Yeah, there you go. It's beautiful. Thank you, Alex.
1 minute. Is this okay, Alex?
Carry up a little more.
Yeah, no, all right. Let him
right there.
No, I'm holding. I'm holding it right now. So let me adjust it properly.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm actually holding it right now. Sorry, guys. Sorry, I'm. Okay, Alex, everybody, nobody complained with you came on the show and you started asking me to do my business. All right, let's go stand. I was just holding this. I don't think I'll be here that long, so let me try it.
Okay, no, I just want to understand. My Prince Johnson, little 45 seconds shot at those that wrote the speech. What do you make of it?
I like to listen to Prince Johnson. I think he speaks from his heart. Sometimes it sounds funny, sometimes it sounds offensive to some people, but he speaks from his heart. And once something bothers him, he uses the pulpit very well and express himself, and that's what he did today. And like you did just now, which I like, you added the human part of it. I mean, we can't be serious about everything. Some things we should just laugh about it. That's how he felt. Even those of us in the Senate or in the legislature, we laughed that day because actually when the old man spoke of it, we started texting each other, and we could see, the little discomfort. But I think I'm happy that he spoke his heart, and he always did that. So that's the human side of it.
Yeah, and that's what we brought it up. I said, Senator, you're right, and sometimes we should just take the politics and the seriousness and just joke. Even JMB will laugh when he heard this clip. He will laugh, and that's who he is. But guys, there's a reason why Senator Snow is on the show today. We're going to welcome you officially. Something broke this morning from ECOWAS. 3 of your members leaving. I mean, your members because you represent Liberia. Now it's you and Senator Tyler. You represent Liberia, but this was kind of too big for the region. Can you give us an overview before we play anything as to what you're hearing, your communication, what you can tell Liberians tonight about Burkina Faso, Niger, and Mali leaving ECOWAS?
This is bad news for ECOWAS. It's very troubling. We've been on Zoom calls all day. We had meetings. We've been texting each other all day, and it's very, very troubling for our region that Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger has officially announced their withdrawal. Granted, we have a protocol that states before you withdraw, you have to give 1 year notice. But I think that's just on the paper, because if you withdraw, you withdraw. They're not going to cooperate. They're not going to accept any of our missions. As you know, over the weekend, the president of the ECOWAS Commission was scheduled to fly to Niger. And then they're thinking about technical fault with the flight with aircraft. But what actually happened was that they had to send the names and nationality of the pilot, the crew, and there was some security concern from the crew that their names are already being published in the network of those countries that have been affected, and they just didn't want to fly there. So we have a very serious problem. Guinea have not announced yet, but as you know, Mali, Niger, and Burkina are also in the same category of Guinea. So it's very troubling. Then we have Guinea-Bissau, that's next door to Guinea and Senegal, that also have a state of emergency. They have dissolved the National Assembly. The parliament is dissolved. So even technically right now, there are only 15. We only have 10 member states represented at the ECOWAS parliament. What is troubling about this announcement also, as you know, ECOWAS being a community, there are thousands of, or at least hundreds of people from those countries that work with ECOWAS, either in Abuja at the headquarters or other ECOWAS institutions. By their withdrawal, all of these people technically will be without job because they cannot work for a community that the country is not a part of. So it's very troubling. But they came out from the sanction, as you know, there was sanction imposed. There was a little split between the head of state.
there was one group of head of states, the young generation that we call them, the Mada Bills, the George Weah, which is former president now, the Adama Barrow, Imbalo from Guinea-Bissau, that always ask for dialogue between ECOWAS and those countries. And the highlanders like President Ouattara, President Nana Akufo-Addo, felt that Macky Sall felt that there was no need to dialogue. We should continue to impose the sanction and push them against, to the wall to return to constitutional rule. And those negotiations always hit rock bottom. We never succeeded. We're just playing the mission there, and then this thing has happened. So it's a big blow for ECOWAS, a very big blow economically, but especially security-wise. I think I sent you a map of the region, how the region looks right now. And I'll tell you the truth, the West African region has never been fragile as it is today. We are at risk right now. I'm not intending to scare anyone, but it's risky for us right now. So if you look at the map, the lower map, so the whole upper part, as you see on the upper map, that whole upper part is gone. Mali's gone, Niger gone, Burkina Faso gone. Guinea is on the red line. So the lower part coming from Guinea-Bissau going to Cote d'Ivoire, that's what we have left in ECOWAS member state. Now you have the Sahel. So people coming from Libya, people coming from Sudan, people coming from Chad, they can enter Mali, they can enter Niger, they can enter Burkina Faso, that already have rebels in those countries. Already today, there was some clashes, the Ghana border with Burkina Faso. We've always had problems in the north. So it's very, very risky for our region right now. Sierra Leone is bordering Guinea. So if anything happens to Guinea, Guinea now has a lot of influence in Sierra Leone. They have very good relationship with Sierra Leone government. It's scary, to be honest with you. Liberia is linked to Guinea. Mali is very close to Liberia. So it's a very risky thing for our region. And I hope that our head of states will see reason to maybe get the African Union or other groups more involved, because those countries that just withdrew from ECOWAS today, they are fully funded now by Russia. So they have close ties with Russia. Russia have opened the embassies in those countries, and Russia is now financing the military, financing the government. They have very close link with Russia. They are also now linking to Algeria and other states in the Sahel to join another organization outside of ECOWAS, which is very risky for our region.
So let me again, it's very good that you laid this out. This is very, very, we got to be very careful for our story. I want to play the video. We have two videos, one from Niger and one from Burkina Faso. So let's do the Burkina Faso 1 minute 57 second video.
Après 49 ans d'existence, les voyants peuples du Burkina, du Mali et du Niger constatent, avec beaucoup de regrets, d'amertume et une grande déception, que leur organisation s'est éloignée des idéaux de ses pères fondateurs et du panafricanisme. En outre, la CEDEAO, c'est l'influence de puissances étrangères, trahissant ses principes fondateurs, est devenue une menace pour ses États membres et ses populations dont elle est censée assurer le bonheur. En effet, l'organisation n'a pas apporté assistance à nos États dans le cadre de notre lutte existentielle contre le terrorisme et l'insécurité. Pire, lorsque ces États ont décidé de prendre leur destin en main, elle a adopté une posture irrationnelle et inacceptable en imposant des sanctions illégitimes, illégales, inhumaines et irresponsables en violation de ses propres textes. Toutes choses qui ont davantage fragilisé les populations déjà meurtries par des années de violence imposées par des hordes terroristes instrumentalisées et téléguidées. Face à cette situation qui perdure, leurs excellences le capitaine Ibrahim Traoré, le colonel Assimi Goïta et le général de brigade Abdourahmane Tchani, respectivement chef d'État du Burkina Faso, de la République du Mali et de la République du Niger, prenant toutes leurs responsabilités devant l'histoire et répondant aux attentes, préoccupations et aspirations de leur population, décident en toute souveraineté du retrait sans délai du Burkina Faso, du Mali et du Niger de la communauté économique des États de l'Afrique de l'Ouest.
there you have it, folks. Edwin Snow, thank God they were able to put it in English, so we read it. The tension few weeks back, or we can say maybe 7 days or so, this president met Russia president, and you are talking about Russia intervention. How far is this going, Edwin Snow?
This is like a power play, and our region right now is like you have the elephant fighting, and the region happens to be the grass, because not just Russia, China is also involved. They have some support from China. They have support from Russia, and they're accusing. When you hear the general talking about foreign intervention or being manipulated by foreign countries, they are targeting France. So those countries that were colonized by France, they are now accusing France of influencing ECOWAS to pursue the sanction against them, which is causing hardship for the people. So you have a situation that Russia, led by Russia and then China, supporting those countries. And we have America, of course, and France. But Russia and China visibility is more with those countries than we have with the rest of the region, with China, with America and France. And it's only important right now that we boost up our security, especially for Liberia. I mean, right now, I listened to your show with Dama just now before you came on, and one of the callers talked about the security actors, the security sectors, that they must take the lead right now. Unfortunately, today we still don't have a defense minister. We don't have a police director. We don't. I don't know for NSA. We don't. The chief of staff of the army. I don't know the status right now. So it's a very serious situation right now. And fortunately, in the Liberian Senate, if I should bring it home, I'm a member of the Security and Defense Committee. Senator Cyrus Momo, who's our chairman, has now called for an urgent meeting tomorrow, Tuesday, so that we look at the confirmation hearing for those in the security sector, because it's very, very important and it's very scary for our region.
My last question before the rest of the guys can come in on this first round of questioning. Let me put this up for the sake of our audience. As you can see, this is the general meeting. The general is shaking hand with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Again, there you go. I mean, frequently they have met. The relationship is getting stronger by the day. You are talking about our own Liberia situation, Senator Snow. There's no defense minister. We don't know the status of the chief of staff. We have some story. We can bring it in when we have the time. NSA, we don't know the status of PSN or who will be going there likewise. It's a good thing that Senator Momo is calling for a very, very important meeting, which of course you are part of, and we hope you can give us those information, or he can come on and explain to us thereafter. What do you think? Your advice to President Jose Yimabwaka now? He has served 12 years as vice president. Know most of these players in the region, especially Goodluck Jonathan and your whole group.
Well, first thing is that fortunately I had a small chat today with the National Security Advisor. I sent him all the information that I even forwarded to you, and expressed the urgency in formulating the security.
I'm sorry, National Security Advisor Kofi Woods.
Yes. National Security Advisor Kofi Woods. And I sent him the same information, and I encouraged him that we should hurry up with the security. The formation of the security sector is very important. We need to complete the security actors. We need to fund the security, because like even when Liberia was in the UN force in Mali, our route to and out of Mali was through Guinea. So it was Monrovia, Guinea, and then to Mali. So there's a very short route linking those countries. And once those countries are now funded by Russia and France, of course, most of those countries believe that Liberia is like a child to America. So Liberia becomes a target. Liberia becomes a target, because they feel that if they want to aggravate America, you could hit Liberia. So we need to, hurry up with the security sector. We need to fund them, and we need to get them on the alert. So it's my hope that, in the next few days, the pro tem, Madam Dominique Kanga Lawrence, I also called for an emergency Senate meeting on Tuesday, since the president will be speaking tomorrow. And we're going to expedite those confirmations, yes, with due diligence, but we're going to look at the security sector with, to expedite that process, the Justice Ministry, the security sector, because we need to be on the alert for any eventuality. I believe in the next few days, there might be an emergency summit of the ECOWAS head of state. It's still being discussed between the presidents. And once that summit takes off, there will be new direction. But in the interim, we need to get our acts together so that we be able to arrest the situation before anything goes out of hand.
Thank you very much, Senator Snow. I'm going to bring in Dr. Richardson, Glendy, and Alex to make their contribution and ask the question. Dr. Richardson.
Thank you for coming to speak to us, Senator Snow, and thank you for the work that you guys are doing to make sure that our security is in place. As I was listening to one of the leaders in those regions, I don't remember who, but they tend to be having the same theme of ECOWAS is no longer serving their needs. They're drifting away from the founding fathers and the Pan-Africanism that the founding fathers expected ECOWAS to demonstrate. What are your thoughts about that? What are you thinking? Do you think you guys are drifting away? You're no longer protecting member individual states?
Well, the core value of ECOWAS have changed over the period. When ECOWAS was founded, it was more of an economic community. Free trade, we should have had by now single currency. Now ECOWAS has changed from just economic zone to ECOWAS of peoples. So you can now have free movement of our people. Unlike Liberia, if you now like Ghana, Senegal, they have this brown card. If you have an ECOWAS brown card, you can go to any ECOWAS member state or a passport. That was in from the founding father. Now you have it in the region. So ECOWAS have migrated over the years. But again, their concern is that ECOWAS have imposed sanctions. There has been hardship on the people. They believe that the core value of ECOWAS is to watch out also for the citizens. So when you take those actions that just don't affect the leaders, but affect the citizens, I mean, that's where they are coming from. Yes, I mean, like you have on the screen. So those are some of the issues that they are referring to. But ECOWAS have changed over the years. When ECOWAS was first founded, you didn't have ECOWAS Code of Justice. Today, you have ECOWAS Code of Justice. If you feel aggrieved with human right is violated in your country, you can go to ECOWAS Code of Justice. You didn't have the ECOWAS Parliament. Today, you have an ECOWAS Parliament that now harmonizing treaties and laws in the different countries. So yes, the values have changed, but then again, they are arguing that whatever sanction that has been imposed is not just affecting the government. And we agree with them. I mean, the matter of fact, the ECOWAS Parliament have come up with a statement that let's look at the sanction. I mean, Mali, Burkina Faso, for example, is a landlocked country. So Burkina Faso get everything from the Cote d'Ivoire, basically everything from Cote d'Ivoire. So if you impose sanction on Burkina Faso and nothing's going into Burkina Faso, it creates not hardship for just the official, but for the citizenry. So again, that has been the concern, and for them, the citizens have supported the action. Today, the hardship in Burkina Faso, I spoke to my colleagues from Burkina, Mali, and Niger today, and it's very terrible there. You cannot find medicine in the drugstore. There's shortage of food, there's shortage of electricity. So the hardship, today 6,000 schools are closed in Burkina Faso. 6,000 schools are closed in Burkina Faso. You have over 4,000 health centers have been shut down in Burkina Faso. It's even more in Mali. In Niger, it's even worse. As you know, Niger it's a very poor state. So the situation is very, very bad. And now they are shutting down from ECOWAS. They're going to link with the Sahel state. So they're going to have relationship with Algeria, with Tunisia, which is in the north. They're going to link up with Sudan. They're going to link up with Chad, so that they will have access to those borders and be able to transact business, which will be also to the disadvantage of ECOWAS, because if they begin to bring things through the border, we'll tell you that we could not bring in arms through the border. And what more if they just say, well, let's just destabilize other ECOWAS member states, make those member states, a target. And now for those member states are seen as a low-hanging fruit, like Liberia, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Guinea-Bissau. I mean, those are the low-hanging fruit in our region. Already, Benin and Togo are threatened by those countries also. Don't forget, Burkina Faso had a coup. Then they had another coup in the other coup. The former coup leader, Iskander, he's now hosted by the Togolese government. He's based in Togo. So it's a very, very tricky situation for our region. And I believe and I'm hopeful that the head of states, once they meet in the next upcoming days or weeks, they will prioritize, revisiting this decision, because this is a very, very risky decision for our region.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that they would prioritize revisiting the decision, because if the decision of sanction is affecting the citizens of those countries, then why wouldn't they want to pull out of ECOWAS? So I'm hearing a little bit of sense in the decision to pull out, although I'm also saddened by the fact that I hate that colonization, those like Russia, those colonized countries like Russia would be kind of getting between African countries again. My second question, you kind of sort of based on something you said about honoring the ECOWAS pass, like the passports. If you're ECOWAS state, you could go to, between countries. So with these three countries leaving the ECOWAS community, do you think they will still honor ECOWAS passport, pass that the other countries have?
About a month or so ago, we spoke to authorities in Mali, Guinea, and Mali, Burkina, and Niger. They were already working on their own currency. They were already talking about changing the passport. It's a long process. There's an ECOWAS treaty that says you have to give 1 year notice before it's recognized. So they could withdraw. They could stop everything with ECOWAS. But then ECOWAS is still on an obligation to recognize the citizens and the people as member state until after 1 year. If they feel that, this is what they want to do and they don't reverse the decision, then those things come into effect. But for now, with this Article 91 on withdrawal, thanks Stanton for posting it, it gave you 1 year notice. You have to serve 1 year notice. So ECOWAS will continue to engage them. We continue to engage the citizens within the period of 1 year. If that decision is not reversed, then it becomes binding.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Senator Snow. Glendy?
Hi, Senator Snow. So, listening to you, and Dr. Francine kind of almost asks my first question, because if you're in a region and you feel that you're not being supported, what is the expectation? Because if they're like you're naming 6,000 schools closed, hospital, and all of those things, what should have been the alternative for them if they find out that they're struggling?
Well, what ECOWAS did, what the head of states did, their decision was, let's push them. Now those schools being closed is not only because of the coup and the sanction. Now, Burkina Faso, for example, they overthrew the government on the basis that the president wasn't investing in security and the rebels were taking over the country. So Burkina Faso has 13 regions. There are 13 regions in Burkina Faso. Out of those 13 regions today, 9 of the 13 regions are in the hands of the rebels. That has nothing to do with the sanction. That has nothing to do with ECOWAS. That's an ongoing problem that has existed in Burkina Faso for a period. In Mali, as you know, they've been having major problems in Mali. The United Nations just finally withdrew from Mali in December. So Mali also, a big portion of Mali was cut off because of the war in Mali, the civil crisis, rebel insurgency coming from the north into Mali. So they've had that problem. Unlike Niger, that didn't experience that problem, but now over the last few months or the last 1 year, Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso have been exchanging military software. They have been exchanging the flights. Those countries, for example, Burkina Faso, they have Air Burkina. Mali have their own aircraft. Niger, they have their own presidential plane. So they've been flying in those countries amongst themselves and relating amongst themselves. So again, to be honest with you, I don't know how to say it, but it's very risky for our region. It's extremely risky. It's very, very serious. And this is something that we need to pay urgent attention to. It's my hope that the head of states will meet, revisit the decision or modify the decision and engage. If it means we have to get the AU involved to a bigger level, get the Algerian government, who plays a very significant role in it, and then see how they can. There was that last year, the ECOWAS head of states flew to Russia to meet with Russia, but their mission was to talk about Russia and Ukraine war. Now they have to go back to Russia to see how best Russia can calm down on, because this thing is about superpower. The disadvantage we have in this scheme is about America, Russia, China flexing the muscle, but we are targeted. So it's a very serious problem for our region. And this could just be the demise of ECOWAS. It's very serious because, again, when there was a coup in Niger, there was a big portion of ECOWAS head of state that felt that we should attack Niger and restore constitutional rule. Niger is bordering Nigeria. The whole Hausa group, that whole Northern group, they're all between the intermarriage, they're related, they do everything together. They resisted. They resisted through the National Assembly of Nigeria. They resisted through the security apparatus. They resisted through the religious community that they would never allow Nigeria to attack Niger because it would be like Nigeria attacking Nigeria. So with this situation now, believe me, it's very, very serious. There was a time when Nigeria had to close a border with Niger because people were smoking rice from Niger, bringing it to Nigeria because, Nigeria, you're not allowed to import rice. So people were taking petroleum products from Nigeria into Niger and then bringing rice from Niger into Nigeria. And it was this whole trade thing, and the borders were closed. Now with the sanction and now the dissolution of relationship, it makes the situation even worse.
Okay, so thank you. My follow-up question is, when you're looking at the map and you're looking at the lines or the border points, it's pretty significant and pretty serious because it's almost like the upper portion that will, if they decide to continue with their withdrawal, means that there's not only a possibility of entry of so many things, but also those countries that benefited from some resources from them will also have trouble. Hearing you talk about the influence of Russia and China, and I think you mentioned France, are there discussions that are being held also with America watching what's going on? Is there any way that America is getting involved? Because when you're talking Russia and China, you're talking America, they're number one enemy. So I want to find out what is ECOWAS doing to ensure that America understands or they're involved in the discussions, because this is serious for Africa, West Africa.
My thing is, yes, I mentioned France, but France not with Russia and China. France is on the side with America with ECOWAS. So that's the split right there. But my thing is, I think America needs to actually step up. The France has been up to the game, but they have been seen as a target. So the French country has actually resisted France over the period. Now, when they had the coup in Niger, the first action they took was to burn the French flag and put out the Russian flag. When they had the coup in Burkina Faso, the first thing the citizens did, they burned down the French embassy, burned down the French flag, and put on Russian flag. When they had the coup in Mali, the same thing. So it's been repeated in those member states. Now, the military commanders, for example, all the chief of staff in our region, they all have a common chat room. They communicate regularly. So the French-speaking army, for example, they all go to the same school. They have the same training. They have a strong network. So the risks involved, if those 3 or 4, now the reason why you see Guinea is not doing much, so Guinea is not in, they're not out. And we believe strongly the Guinean president, who was also trained by the French, but his wife, who's also a French military woman. So because of that connection, you see Guinea is not leaning more towards them, but Guinea is also now on the side of ECOWAS. So Guinea is that click right there. Once Guinea falls to, then that's bordering Liberia, that's bordering Sierra Leone. That tells you that we're in a red zone immediately. So again, I believe strongly that this cannot just be about America or French diplomacy. They have to become more visible. They have to speak more about it. They have to get involved. They have to fund people to fund different bilateral meetings and organizations to see how best this situation. Because also those countries have a single monetary zone. They all have the French CFA, with the exception of Guinea that have the Guinea franc. They all have a single monetary zone. They have the BCIO bank that controls them. Now they've also, I'm happy that Alex is on the show. They've also now engaging from Java. Alex know what Java is like. You have the FIU here. So there's no longer, they're not subjected to military intelligence anymore. So if they got money from Russia, maybe Russia flew $1 billion or $10 million into Burkina, the army people can put it in a truck. They want to go to Guinea, they drive it to Guinea. They want to go to Mali, they take it to Mali. They want to Niger, take it to Niger. We're all going through the banking sector. So it's very, very serious for our region. We understand now that Russia is also now printing their currency. So that those countries will have single currency. Once they disengage from Java, which is very, very important, and Alex will speak more on that as a cup of tea. Once they disengage from Java, they no longer honor financial scrutiny. So now they can buy in arms, they can fly in arms, they can do financial trading. Once it's not going through the US SWIFT code, through the US system, it's going through Russia or going through China, they can do a lot of destruction in our region.
Wow, this is, folks, thank you for joining us. Again, we have Senator Edwin Mervyn Snow Jr. from Bombing County. We are discussing ECOWAS, the breakaway of Niger, Burkina Faso, and Mali, leaving the ECOWAS state with only 12 members for now. And we're so happy you can share your question. We'll read it out to Senator Snow, but let's have a wonderful program. Alex, your two questions.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Snow. And that makes it easier because of the map, the way it looks. So you will find that plane could fly in from Russia or China to one of these Mali or Niger, and then they do cross-border movement with currency. And that currency is not US dollars, it's the CFA franc. So it even makes it easier for bulk movement of cash across borders. That because Guinea has been on in between inside with the BCIO, which is the bank, the regional bank for the French-speaking countries. It's like the regional central bank. So Guinea has been in and out of it, but that movement could influence Guinea as well in moving faster with them. But the first question I want to ask you, you kind of mentioned it. I was going to pivot different way, but you kind of mentioned that about the citizens' support. What has been the citizen support for this coup d'etat? Because I remember in one of the countries when ECOWAS was trying to launch a war, the citizens resisted that and things like that. Generally, what has been the citizens' support or anti the coup?
There have been two schools of thought. One group believes that the citizens are being suppressed, so they are afraid of the military, so they seem to support the military. The other school of thought believe that the citizens feel that they've been suppressed by the French for a long time, and so they support what is happening. But now, like Guinea, when the coup d'etat took place in Guinea, the citizens are very happy. Today, it's on the other side. The citizens are threatening demonstration every day. Internet has been blocked for a while in Guinea, so you cannot freely communicate. The same thing is happening in Burkina, the same thing happening in Mali, the same thing happening in Niger. So it's a catch-22 of the citizens. I mean, if they come out to demonstrate, it's a military regime, they owe nothing to anybody. They could, eliminate those people, harm them or anything like that. They are accountable to very little standards. And then the other side is that the citizens are encouraging it because they are tired of the French dominance, tired of the French rule. So this is not just about ECOWAS. What the state are doing, those member states believe that ECOWAS leaders are succumbing to France and to some extent to the United States, especially to France. So they are retaliating through that to hit ECOWAS because they feel it's an extension of French dominance.
Yeah, let me state that the Guinean people, their currency, they're not part of the general CFA because Guinea has its own Guinea franc, which is not in connection with the BCO. So the other French-speaking countries have connection with the CFA franc. But Honorable Snow, and me withdraw that honorable thing. I hate the honorable business. Edwin.
That's it, Edwin. Yeah.
I think we ECOWAS has been more reactive than proactive. So one of the issues that the French people, when you listen to the tape, is the existential threats of terrorism, and by extension, terrorist financing, and insecurities within in a region, which within those countries, which has been the main cause of the coup d'etat in those countries, in those three countries especially. What has ECOWAS done over the years to kind of solve these people's problem in terms of terrorism, terrorist financing, and the insecurity from the Sahel region? That whole thing coming down, as you can see on the map, that whole Sahel coming from Mali, stuff like that. There's been a problem in that area with all these different fighting, with all these different regional fighting in Mali, in Niger, in those countries. What has been, rather than, the overthrow, even though the citizens are happy, but ECOWAS want to come and undo the coup, rather than going after the underlying factor. What has ECOWAS been doing?
ECOWAS is funded by member states. You have the ECOWAS levy that the member states of ECOWAS survive on. So every time you import anything to an ECOWAS member state, I think 4% or something goes towards ECOWAS. Now, most member states, and let me be the first to admit, today, like Liberia is the highest indebted country to ECOWAS. We owe ECOWAS more than $15 million. We've not paid our community levy. So we've been receiving the levy, we're not paying the levy. So ECOWAS itself is stressed. So Liberia is not paying this levy. Now Guinea is not paying levy. Niger is not paying levy. Burkina Faso is not paying levy. Other member countries. So the three main countries now that get ECOWAS going, Nigeria first, then Senegal, Cote d'Ivoire, and Ghana. So those are the countries that really been carrying ECOWAS. So ECOWAS itself has been very stressed. ECOWAS had this plan to raise $1 billion for terrorism, to fight terrorism in the region. Countries committed. I think Nigeria paid some money. Ghana made some payments to it. Most other member countries, including Liberia, did not pay anything into that fund. The ECOWAS standby force, there was this big plan to have the ECOWAS standby force that would, try to work on some of those things. We're not able to get it off the ground because countries were not committed to it. It's a shame. I mean, every time I go to an ECOWAS meeting and there's a projection on the financial state of ECOWAS, and I see my country, Liberia, for the last 3-4 years, we've been collecting levy. We have not paid levy. We owe $15-16 million to ECOWAS. And we have troops in Gambia. As you know, we have the peacekeepers in Gambia that have been funded fully by ECOWAS. We have the standby force in Guinea-Bissau that's been fully funded by ECOWAS. We're now talking about getting a force in... We're now talking about getting a force in Senegal. I mean, not Senegal, in Sierra Leone, to do that. And of course, Senegal is going for election next month. We're having a big presence in Senegal now to help on the security situation. So ECOWAS itself has been very stressed, to be honest with you. We've had some good funding coming in for mediation, peace and security from the European Union, but it hasn't been enough to sustain ECOWAS fight against terrorism and the ECOWAS standby force. Until member states can commit themselves to paying the ECOWAS levy, because ECOWAS levy is not for the country. It's something you receive on behalf of ECOWAS and you remit to ECOWAS. But we receive it and we don't give it back. And that has caused ECOWAS a major problem. We've sent high-power missions to member states, and it hasn't helped. I hope that, the new arrangement in the region, in Liberia, other countries, including Liberia, will get serious about recommitting to pay ECOWAS levy that's being collected, so that ECOWAS will be able to do some of those things that we're being criticized for. People say, ECOWAS is not proactive. ECOWAS just, react to things. But ECOWAS has a lot of limitations. And until we can live up to the core values of ECOWAS, I mean, if you receive money for ECOWAS, give it to ECOWAS. For one country, it's a shame. I mean, I was coming online now. I don't know how the ECOWAS people got the information. I saw in the ECOWAS chat room that Senator Snow is going on Spoon. So they all tuning into this show to watch the show. But at the end of the day, they're going to ask me, how can you talk about the ECOWAS standby force or fighting terrorism when your country is the highest indebted country to ECOWAS? So it's unfortunate, but that's the situation.
So Stanton, just as a follow-up to Edwin here. So on the one hand, you are not able to intervene in the real problem of terrorism and insecurity in the area due to ECOWAS' own limitation. But on the other hand, you're trying to flex your muscles and giving them what they describe as irrational, unacceptable posture of imposing illegal, illegitimate, and inhumane, irresponsible sanction in violation of your own text, the ECOWAS text. So how do you juxtapose that?
ECOWAS, unlike other organizations, the head of state in ECOWAS, they don't normally vote. The last resort in ECOWAS is for the head of state to vote. Almost all decisions are based on consensus. Almost all decisions. And like I said from the beginning of the show, there have been two schools of thought. There has been the school of thought led by the Madabil, the Adama Barrow, the Ibalo, the George Weah, that believe that we should not impose sanctions. We should go in there and negotiate. There has been another school of thought headed by President Ouattara, President Nana Akufo-Addo, President Macky Sall, that believe that we should squeeze them to the wall, push them to the wall, impose sanctions, so that the citizens will rebel against the government and the government will succumb to returning the constitutional rule. And the big boys in ECOWAS, I mean, their will came to power. Now, what is happening today, maybe we can revisit it. That's why it's important now that the head of states will be meeting. It's expected that they will meet shortly, and maybe they could revisit that. I mean, I hope Liberia could, we will intervene. We will speak to the new actors. We give them the text. Fortunately, General Johnson, the two main actors that have been involved into peace and security in our region, General Johnson, the chief of staff of the army, and the defense minister, they've been very key. So I hope if those two are being changed, I don't know if they will be, they need to provide the necessary briefing to the incoming administration, to the security, so that we'll be able to follow up on some of those hitches that we have, some of the impediments we have, so that the situation here, as good as we try to fix it and not to scare the population, what happened today is a very scary situation for our region, and we need to act swiftly.
And again, folks,
so how will you expect them to go to Russia?
Let's keep the two questions. We'll come back to you very quick.
Okay.
Because we have to just ask more questions, because Snow is running on the time. Yeah, tomorrow is the State of the Nation address. You got to get prepared. But again, Senator Snow, let me bring this to your attention. A lot of folks asking this question. I'm going to put this up real quick. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso have a concern. You spoke about it. But let's just go ahead and read what is out there. 28 January 2024, Niger, Mali, blah, blah, blah. Withdrawing from ECOWAS before delay, the three nations, all of which are currently ruled by military juntas, accused. Now, this is why it's important, Snow, and help us understand. Accused ECOWAS of implementing inhumane sanctions in order to reverse the coup. Senator, internally within those countries, things happen. Probably the leader refused to abide by the term limits. Some country will understand. The treatment to their own people, enriching themselves, massive corruption. ECOWAS sit back and watch while the people cry. And I can say on the ship today, thank God for George Miner. We had to look at this thing and say, you know what? I gave up. Let me consider Joseph Yimapaka. If this were in another country, probably he wouldn't. With the backing of the military, he said, let's go for re-election. And the whole country was going to be upside down. You are on this thing representing Liberia, Honorable Snow. Why will you pressurize, or why would ECOWAS pressurize the coup leader with very, very huge sanction? But yet and still, some country in the region still undergoing unlimited term and other immune treatment. Can you address, are you hearing us now? Can you hear us now?
Yeah.
Okay, can you address the main reason inhumane sanction they have taken over? Why couldn't ECOWAS give them a slack? But you went so harshly, like you said, the sanction. Why ECOWAS couldn't give them time, knowing very well that they were suffered by their own leaders that they overthrew? I'm not defending coup. I'm just trying to be very Snow.
It's like the chicken and the egg, which comes first. Now, ECOWAS will say, let's allow food, let's allow medicine to go in for the citizens, which is fair to do. But what's going to happen? The leaders going to make sure they have the food and medicine first before it goes down to the people. So ECOWAS, the strategy there from half of our leaders in the region was that let's put the citizens against them so that they call for early election. And this strategy did not work. And that's why I keep coming back to it. The strategy was let's suffocate them, let's push them. Once the people are suffering, the people are going to rebel, they're going to pressurize them, and they're going to call for early election. That was the strategy. The end result of that strategy is what we saw today. Dissolution of the relationship. Now, we are arguing now, we came up with a statement today, ECOWAS, that the protocol says give us 1 year to dissolve the relationship. So we're not going to just leave it like that. We're going to now take advantage of the 1 year, like even the ECOWAS statement say we have not been formally informed yet. So we're going to remain engaged. So I believe the sooner the head of states meet for a summit, re-strategize, I'm sure we'll be able to make progress. It's serious. I mean, it's difficult to defend, and sometimes people think that ECOWAS don't do anything. No, I was on one of the peace missions to Guinea, for example, when Alpha Conte wanted a third term. I was heading a mission to Guinea. We landed in the airport, and they refused to allow us to leave the airport. We slept in Conakry Terminal, and we had to board Aska the following morning to return to Abuja. He refused to allow us in. So sometimes people think that ECOWAS don't do anything about it. No. In Mali, they had a successful election, then they had parliamentary election. The president decided that he wanted his party to have the majority in parliament. So he tried to mess with the election result. We flew into Mali. We had a delegation in Mali when the coup took place in Mali. We're trying to intervene. So yes, there's ECOWAS, but ECOWAS is not also the police that will go in the country and hang up the leader and say you have to do this. ECOWAS will issue statement. ECOWAS will do what they can do. And then some of the leaders have just been stubborn. Some leaders have just been very stubborn. I mean, see what's happening in Sierra Leone today. ECOWAS have been very engaged in Sierra Leone. We've had countless, matter of fact, I'm scheduled to be in Sierra Leone tomorrow. I just told them I cannot do it because the president is speaking tomorrow. I cannot leave the country. And then we have confirmation hearing coming up during the course of the week, which is very important. So my schedule is bad, but or else we will be in Sierra Leone tomorrow, continuing the engagement, and then talking about now how can we engage Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso.
So, but my second question in this round: what would be your advice to President Joseph Yema Boakai? Let me bring this on different level. Forgive me. One, let's talk about the $50 million that Liberia owed. Two, let's talk about the ruling of ECOWAS that Liberia must pay Kabina Jana, Liberia must pay Madame Nessie Doe. Let's talk about this issue. Will you push? Will you advise the president through the national security advisor? But as a matter of fact, you're a senator. You can have a one-on-one with the president. What would be your advice to President Joseph Yema Boakai on these different fronts?
I hopefully will meet the president this week. But before that meeting, I hope that the president will now get the national security team together to do a comprehensive briefing for him. And that team will have to be aided by the current Army Chief of Staff, General Prince Johnson, who has played a very important role in this region. He's well respected. Every time I attend the Chief of Staff meeting, the Peace and Mediation meeting with the Chief of Staff in the region, General Johnson seems young, but he's well respected by his colleagues in the region. Minister Zanga, also well respected. So even if they are leaving, if General Johnson is going to be retired or retained, whatever the situation is, that's a prerogative of the president, or Minister Zanga going to be replaced, they need to get them on board now to give some briefing. The government, the president needs briefing, up-to-date briefing as to what is happening in the region so that we know if the president have to attend a summit, how to proceed from the summit. If Mr. Bama Kamara is confirmed, when he was finance minister, Liberia was in debt to ECOWAS. We came up to zero when he was finance minister. So other countries have owed also. So I'm sure that if he's confirmed by the Liberian Senate, if we confirm him and he becomes minister, we can have an agreement with ECOWAS where we begin to pay on current liabilities, and then look at how we address our areas. So that can be worked on. It's going to take a period. It's going to take a long time, but that can be worked on. What the president needs now, if I was to advise, and like I said, I shared at least pleasantry with National Security Advisor today, Mr. Kofi Woods, and he expressed seriousness about the situation. So I hope the national security team can get on board right now. Whether the incoming, outgoing, they need to sit around the table and prepare an up-to-date briefing for the president for implementation.
Okay, so the second part to my question, the Nelson Doe and Cabinet Jana fees.
I'm a member of the ECOWAS Parliament, and I strongly support the decision of ECOWAS of the community. That is why I was one of the senators that signed on the resolution that was proffered by Senator Community Wilson. I see Dr. Chinaway laughing with so much thing of I'm sure she wants to see how we answer this question. But I was one of the senators that signed. I was one of those that signed on that. I believe strongly that the rooting, the rooting of the ECOWAS Code of Justice is very important for member state. And member state are judged by those things: your community levy, your respect for the treaties of ECOWAS. Those are very important things, and that's why I signed on it. I believe that Mr. Janet, the government should negotiate with Mr. Janet, have him paid. The issue of reinstating him, that's a decision of the president. The president can either reinstate him if he so desire or negotiate with him. The issue of Nancy Doe, once she went to the ECOWAS Court of Justice and she got her case, she won her case, it should be respected by ECOWAS. Liberia is a member state of ECOWAS. We cannot be selective in respecting the rulings of the court. People are talking about ECHO. Look, when we had the election, the inauguration a few days ago, all the motorbikes you saw here, all the security hardware you saw here, it came from an ECOWAS member state. Ghana, as a sister republic member of ECOWAS, they flew in the bikes here to help provide security for visiting guests and the incoming government. So those are some of the brotherly relationships that we look forward to. President Bill was here. Yeah, a lot of head of states did not come, but they all sent their representatives to give solidarity to Liberia. So it's very important. Moving forward, we all may one day have to go to that very ECOWAS Code of Justice. And, we go to meetings in ECOWAS when they flag those red issues, when they put up the red flags on member states that are not in compliance with the treaty. And when Liberia comes up and it shows that Liberia is not honoring some of the rulings of the court, it's bad for Liberia. It's embarrassing for Liberia. Sometimes go to meetings and bow our heads down. So I hope that we will now take the advantage of the situation, sit down with Mr. Kabina Janet, and see how best we can reach a compromise. Sit with Nancy Doe, see how best we can reach a compromise. And there are other ECOWAS, cases that have been ruled by the ECOWAS Code of Justice. I'm a strong advocate of the decision of the ECOWAS. The treaty says that we must respect the decision of the Code of Justice. And for us not to respect those decisions, it doesn't speak well for Liberia.
I can say to you before Dr. Richardson come in, I just spoke with the National Security Advisor, Samuel Kofi Woods. He confirmed that you guys spoke, but you guys have a scheduled meeting coming up due to the State of the Nation address, which of course he been in meeting all day, and you guys will meet. I didn't know about your scheduled meeting, so I was just trying to bring him on. But he said I can tell the audience that indeed you spoke to him, you sent him some document, and he will be meeting with you for you to finalize. But this is very, very important to address within the region. So, Honorable Snow, thank you very much for being very thoughtful to even reach to him. Of course, he is now meeting those folks that are involved, and your meeting thereafter, he will speak to Spoon. Dr. Richardson, I just had to pass it through because it is important. That's what we do here on the show. Dr. Richardson, please, your two questions. We'll go one cycle, and then we'll ask Honorable Snow to leave because he's very busy tonight. Go ahead.
So I just wanted to make a clarification before I go to my question. I used to work colonizer, and I see a lot of people were thinking that I meant the original term of colonization in Africa. But since the movie The Black Panther, colonization became the word that we use for people who, other countries, Russia, America, France, who kind of are more privileged and take advantage of Africa, people of African descent. So I just want to clarify that for the people who are saying, "Oh, Russia didn't colonize anybody." Russia was involved in Afghanistan, by the way, big time. So I just wanted them to know that. And Russia is involved in Ukraine, big time as well, the new form of colonization. But my question to you, Obviously, the sanction didn't work. I think like the two schools of thoughts you talked about, one for sanction, one for negotiation, and the sanctions to many extent backfired on ECOWAS. So, what kind of bargaining chip do you think that you guys now can go back and bring in these countries? You know, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali. What do you think? I mean, I'm very strongly into the Pan Africanism. I don't know if that's if they're gonna buy that, but what bargaining chips now can you say that the other communities of ECOWAS can use to pull in this country to keep us united?
Well, my first reaction would be since we have Article 91 that talks about withdrawal that takes a period of 1 year. My suggestion, and I chair the Committee on Political Affairs, Peace and Security. So my suggestion right now would be let us lift the sanction on humanitarian grounds. They are talking about it being inhumane, and so citizens are suffering. They are catching hard time. Citizens are catching hard time, and they have the opportunity. The head of states or anyone will have the opportunity to fly anything into the palaces, into the mansions, into the homes. Am I on?
Yes, you are. You
Okay,
are.
so they can fly anything into those countries, and they will benefit. But the common man out there are no drugs in the store, in the pharmacy. There are no electricity in those countries, in most part of the countries, in those countries. So I think that we should relax the sanction on humanitarian grounds. That would open the corridor for us to begin fresh negotiation with those countries.
Do you think that is Liberia's approach? I mean, you represent Liberia there, but do you think the president is in line with your thoughts?
That was the approach. That was the line of the former president. That was what
Yes.
President Weir thought. President
Yes.
Malabio, Adama Barrow, Ibalo, they were of that school of thought. I
Yeah.
don't know what President Boyka thought would be, but like Mr. Wu said, we will be talking right after the SONA, and I will put him in touch with the Commissioner of Political Affairs, the ECOWAS Commission, the Standby Force General, those that are out there with security making, so that they can have enough information to be able to brief President Barker on what decision to take. Because when he goes to summit, he's behind that flag. He has a microphone, and what he says there represents Liberia. And if we want him to say the right thing, we need to give him the proper briefing so that he will make the right decision. If he's not properly briefed, he wouldn't be able to make the right decision. And that's why I'm again saying that whatever we do, whether he's going to be retired, whether going to be replaced, we need to get Zanga, the former Minister of Defense, the current Chief of Staff of the Army, around the table to provide the necessary briefing so that the president is well briefed on the way forward.
My second question is, you guys, ECOWAS has been accused of just being, you know, more like proactive. You guys are not preventative at all. So, what do you think you've learned from this, this situation where you guys can be more involved in the states? Like, don't wait for these things to happen before everybody start trying to figure out things. I know you say you guys are working hard, but it just seemed like there's this general thought that you guys are a two-flat bulldog, and can you guys work to be more proactive? Like, start observing the countries a little bit more, maybe when you guys see citizens unrest or people who are against the government and what the government doing. Like in our case, we had Georgia for 6 years, and there was a lot of things happening in our country. Human Rights Watch put out a lot of things, and maybe we didn't hear ECOWAS opinion or condemning some of these situations. So is it possible that now that ECOWAS can keep their ears and eyes open in other countries, so that when we start seeing these little grumbling in these countries, that ECOWAS can say something or do something or act? What do you think?
So ECOWAS have a mechanism called the ECOWAS early warning mechanism. So every morning, we get briefing from around the region. Like I chair political affairs, peace and security. So I'm briefed every morning by between 6:30 to 7 o'clock on intelligence in the region. Now, what we've done in the past is that most of those briefings or the red flags, we've kept it on the down low. So, for example, if when we had a problem in Sierra Leone, the problem in Sierra Leone recently was not an overnight problem. It came over a period of more than 2-3 years before even the last election. But ECOWAS will go into those countries. We meet the factions or the different groups. We try to intervene, but it's not brought to the public glare. So ECOWAS have been careful that so that the member state will not see ECOWAS as trying to run the affairs of their country. Now, there's a problem in Liberia, for example. ECOWAS had a lot of missions that came to Liberia. A lot of ECOWAS missions came there based on the economy, based on security situation. ECOWAS representatives here in Liberia, they engage the government on a regular basis, but ECOWAS wouldn't release those information to the public. It's done on a bilateral basis. So when those things are not paid attention to or not implemented and it hits the fan, people think ECOWAS had done nothing about it. But like I said, Guinea, we all knew what was going to happen in Guinea. The writing was all on the wall. We flew to Guinea. We slept in the terminal. They denied us entry into the city. Again, we wanted to have a press conference in the airport. The ECOWAS said, no, we cannot do that. This is a sister republic. It's a member state. We have to dialogue. So the ordinary man in Guinea did not know that ECOWAS flew into Guinea and they were denied entry. In Mali, there were times we wanted to fly to Mali. They denied us flying rights. We cannot get permission to land in Mali. Those things we didn't bring it out to the public. So my thing about the strategy is that when those red flags are coming up and we begin the mediation, we must get the civil society involved. We must get the media involved so that the citizens will know what steps are we taking, what are we doing to arrest the situation. So if the leaders do not listen and things go out of hand, the ordinary man down there will know that ECOWAS intervened, but nothing happened.
Absolutely.
And that's why I think that's one of our problems that we need to work on.
Yeah. Thank you.
Senator Snow, I just want to follow up on the debts from Liberia. And I hear you saying that Liberia owes a lot of money to ECOWAS. I'm a little concerned because Liberia is just one of the 15 countries. And what we know is that ECOWAS do, I think is it WAMA or the West African Monetary Group, the agency that they have where they levy fees and people pay certain amounts. So I don't know how is it that ECOWAS can be stressed so much just from the depths of Liberia. I want you to comment a little bit on that because we're going to get some clarity. That Liberia is one country. We understand that we owe them, but they cannot be stressed as a region just from this one country financially.
Believe me, you may think it's nothing, but it's a lot. Waman, the headquarters in Sierra Leone. And Alex there, he knows about it also. They do the monetary zone. They've been trying to do the migration of the single currency. So they've been more involved with that. In ECOWAS, you have a department that's responsible for community levy. So they do the levy collection. And in every country, you have the national office that coordinate with the central bank and the Ministry of Finance. If they need to do currency conversion before bifurcating the money to ECOWAS account. Now, you may say $15 million is nothing, but $15 million means a lot. Now, there are some very small economies in our region. There are very small economies. Liberia don't pay much from community levy because we have a small economy. Sierra Leone is not paying much. We have a small economy in Sierra Leone. Gambia is not paying much. A small economy in Gambia. Cape Verde is also paying zero. Cape Verde is one of the non-compliant members because they do most of their trade with Portugal and then outside the ECOWAS zone. So we have problems also with Cape Verde. Then Guinea-Bissau, also little or nothing. Togo, yes, they're doing okay, relatively okay, but the economy is not as big as as Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire and Senegal and Nigeria. So out of 15 member country, you have 5 members that pays the chunk of the money. For Nigeria, for example, what Nigeria does, Nigeria accumulates the amount over the years, and like every December, Nigeria pays about $100 million against the levy. All right, Nigeria was owing a lot of money too, so they went into an agreement with ECOWAS where they pay against the area and then pay going forward. Cote d'Ivoire had the same thing. When they had the civil crisis, they were delinquent also, and they did the same arrangement with ECOWAS. So Cote d'Ivoire is paying. They had in the last 2 years the highest paying member state of ECOWAS has been Ghana. Ghana has been paying the highest community levy. But don't forget, those records are public records for ECOWAS. So if you went to an ECOWAS meeting, for example, the AFC, the Admin and Finance Committee meeting on ECOWAS, and then they do the spreadsheet, and you see that, oh, I'm from Ghana. I'm paying my community levy. I'm collecting $10 million a month, and I'm paying it. But Liberia is collecting $1 million, and Liberia is eating the money. Or Sierra Leone is collecting $2 million, and Sierra Leone is now remitting all of the money. So it's not just about being stretched, but then those other countries will say, look, come on, let's slow down too. We have other priorities. So it has a trickle-down effect. So if you are in a union and there are other members that are delinquent, the tendency for others to follow suit is likely. So you wouldn't say, well, this guy is not paying, I'm paying. So what they're going to do, they're going to slow down. So that is why ECOWAS is stretched. Now, when ECOWAS prepares the budget is based on predictions. So we predict that this country would pay X amount of money for this year, and our budget are program-based budget. So 65% of the budget goes towards program, 35% of the budget goes towards personnel services. So based on the projection that we receive, or based on the projection of the budget, you set your programs, your priorities. So if a particular member state is not paying, it definitely affects your budget. For example, we just had an election in Liberia. ECOWAS had over 100 observers in Liberia for the election. All of those observers are paid. We have to buy them plane tickets. They are paid $265 a day. Some of them, we have long-term observer, we have middle-term, we have short-term observer. Some of them are in the country for 3 months. Some of them in the country for 2 months. Some of them in the country for 1 week. Some of them for 10 days. So the different layers, they have to be paid. They gave the Elections Commission funding. ECOWAS gave Election Commission some money during our election. We have election in Senegal in February. We need more than 200 observers in Senegal for the election. All of those people have to be paid. It's budgeted. So our budget is a program-based budget. And once a country is delinquent, it affects the overall program of the community. So Liberia may look small, 15 million may look small to you, but 15 million could mediate, 15 million could help to observe election. Like last year, we had a lot of elections in the region. Liberia had election, Sierra Leone had election, we have parliamentary election in Guinea-Bissau. Now Guinea-Bissau have dissolved the parliament. They're going to have fresh election. ECOWAS have to go back in there again. Togo have election this year coming up. Benin had election last year. So all of those elections and mediation, everything, it costs a lot of money. And that's why we've been stressed.
All right, I like the clarity, and 50 millions is not small for it's big for me as an individual, but I'm looking at the region. So my last question that I have, I don't know what the leaders were thinking. If you have people who you have coup d'etats in a different country, quote unquote, these will be rebels who's probably not going to listen to you. What was their thought process in saying we're going to sanction them, we're going to squeeze them for them to agree? And it's serious because it puts a lot of other countries at risk. When you talk about Liberia, we have nothing in the works right now immediately, where we don't have our security structure really structured to be able to counteract anything, and we have them doing that. I want to understand how you think, if a country is struggling and Russia reaches out to them, are they supposed to say no?
Well, since I'm speaking to you in my official capacity, it's a difficult question to answer. It's a difficult question to answer, but the short of the long of it is that the sanction strategy did not work.
Yes.
There were thousands of trucks at the border between Nigeria and Niger that had perishable goods. All of those goods spoiled. Petroleum tankers had to return to Nigeria. Rice could not go through. Medical supply could not go through. To piggyback, there was even a time when we sent a medical relief to Niger and they refused it on grounds that they're not looking for medical relief. They want freedom for the people to be able to go in the pharmacy and buy their own drugs. So that strategy did not work. I mean, let me be clear to say the strategy just did not work. They need now to revisit that strategy is what should be placed on the table. And I'm sure because that strategy did not work, at the next summit, you see when President Tinubu took over ECOWAS, it's a funny story, and I'll make it very brief, Stanton. We just had a coup we had a second coup in Burkina Faso, I think, in Burkina. That was Mali, then Guinea, then Burkina, something like that. So when Tinubu took over, there was a head of state summit in Guinea-Bissau. A lot of people said, "Oh, the man just took over 1 month later, and they made him chair of ECOWAS authority, head of states and government." But he went to that summit and he banged on the table and like, "Hey guys, what have you been doing here? How can you all sit here and allow coup d'etat to take place in this region and you do nothing about it? ECOWAS is born again. Nigeria is back on the block." This was his exact word. He said, "As long as I'm here and president of Nigeria, we have no more coup d'etat in this region. Any coup d'etat will move in and we will make sure we dislodge that government." That was in June. And then the head of state, Sierra Leone, was up for the authority of head of state to chair ECOWAS. Based on that speech, as you know, Sierra Leone and Nigeria are both Commonwealth countries. So they had their own in-house meeting, and Sierra Leone gave way to Nigeria, and Nigeria began to chair ECOWAS. That was in June. July 26th, less than a month later, boom, the coup took place in Niger. So all the head of state told President Tinubu, "Well, the thing is on your decks. What do we do?"
Welcome to the Boss Club.
Thank you. That was the first blow. Now, when we had a problem in Gambia with Yahya Jammeh, for example, Nigeria flew her jet bombers to Senegal. Senegal flew her jet bombers. They flew over Gambia and were ready to bomb the presidential palace. Yahya Jammeh was prepared to get in the plane the next day, and he flew to Equatorial Guinea. He left the country. Now, Gambia is a small country. When we had a war in Liberia, ECOMOG came to Liberia, put the boots on the ground, and restored peace in Liberia. Liberia is a small country. In Guinea-Bissau, when they had the coup at 10, ECOWAS sent the military there, and the military is still there, and they're protecting the president. Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso is different. They have their own jet bomber, they have their own air artillery, they have the stronger military, and they are threatening that, hey, Burkina Faso say, "Look, we are bordering Ghana. We are not in the north of Ghana. If one gunshot drops in Burkina Faso from ECOWAS, we're going to attack the border town in Ghana." So what did the citizens say? "Hey, you're not going to fight war in Burkina, because if you hit them, they're going to hit us here. We're going to die here." The same thing in other members' countries. So it's been a very difficult thing. My thing to answer your question would be, we need to go back to the drawing board, re-strategize, see how we can do this better, because it's hitting ECOWAS hard. It's a real bad day for ECOWAS. Today is one of our worst days. It's a hard hit for ECOWAS. It's not working. And right now, God forbid, if Nigeria ever decides that, hey, we are fed up, we are out, there's no more ECOWAS. So it's a very, very serious situation for ECOWAS.
You know, it's good to have you guys on. This is the reason why Spoon go after you guys. And, you know, those of you that on the playing field. It's very important, Alex. We wouldn't have known all of this good thing coming from Eden Snow if we just sit back and watch it as a movie. Again, I really appreciate you for joining Spoon, especially this last minute call, and you accepted to join us. Alex will ask the last two questions. We'll do our follow up, and then you can leave us because it's very important. Today is Sunday. We are not doing the regular 7 p.m. show here. We will be leaving. Alex?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Let me ask you the last two questions. But I get one little small question where I want to put you in Jabba small before I ask my question.
You're learning from Santa.
Yeah. I got the question.
The man and crew, man. Jabba that crew.
The last two questions, one based on geopolitics and one based on the single currency. And for those two questions, I want to hear your advice. What will inform the president's State of the Nation address tomorrow on this geopolitics and single currency? But before I do that, let me ask you this small Jabba question, if Stanton will allow me. You say we owe ECOWAS 15 million. You say ECOWAS could rule that they should pay Nese, though they should pay Kabina Jane. And this is important. You are an ECOWAS man, and you keep mentioning Jawia Ni here. What did you tell Jawia about paying this money?
Well, Mr. Weir, former President Weir was not the finance minister. The finance minister was Samuel Twe. There are countless communication, countless. If there's any senator listening to this show right now, I will tell you that I normally post updates from ECOWAS in the Senate chat room because I'm seconded to ECOWAS by the Liberian Senate. So every major thing coming from ECOWAS, I inform my colleagues in the Senate. I furnished the senators with our indebtedness to ECOWAS. I've informed them on the different communications we've done. Former Senator Zago, former Senator Jonathan Capier, former Representative Clarence Massacre and Haja will tell you. There's a guy at the DEX office called Ben Rabas. I don't know if you know Ben Rabas. He's at the Ministry of situated at the Ministry of Finance. So he and I, and the current ECOWAS ambassador here, Madam Josephine Nkrumah, we are always in contact. I've sent numerous communications to the executive. I've called them. I have text messages, and I've always put them on the spot about Liberia's indebtedness to ECOWAS. There were times when former Minister Samuel Twe informed the president that Liberia has paid. I got the report. I gave it to the former president to inform him that Minister Twe was lying to him. Liberia was indebted to ECOWAS. So I've always done this, and I've kept my Senate colleagues informed on what we've been doing.
The war between Russia and Ukraine is about this whole NATO issue, right? Ukraine becoming a member of NATO that erupted this whole war. And France is a NATO country. USA have an influence. France is the superpower or the people who the country that colonized most of these French-speaking West African countries. So everything that happened to France by extension is US because they're part of NATO. Now, most of the French-speaking countries are moving away from France. So it's Mali, Niger, Burkina Faso that have this issue, right? And they've moved to Russia within the context of this whole war and the fight between NATO and Russia and China. Now, this is creating a problem for us. Why do you think that these French countries, especially Burkina Faso, Niger, Mali, are moving away from France? Why? And what will you advise our president? The second question is, we're talking about single currency, and Liberia has dual currency. How will Liberia move to the ECOWAS single currency zone? How will Liberia resolve this whole dual currency issues before moving to the single currency zone? What would be your advice on these two issues that will inform the president's speech tomorrow in setting his agenda for the next 12 months?
So the first thing is that the French countries in West Africa have come up with a barrage of information and documents as regards the relationship with France. And some of those documents, if it's ending to take home with, the relationship has not been a very good relationship. For example, as you know, you're a financial expert, will know, all of the French-speaking countries, their reserve is in the Bank of France. So the franc CFA is backed by the euro now. The French currency, which is now the euro, is stored in the French bank. They don't have their own reserve through BCIO, but it's now in the French bank. So France controls their currency, and that's why France have BCIO that handles the monetary transaction between Francophone states. The other thing, all of the Francophone countries that got independence from France, as of today, the presidential palace that the president lives in, they pay rent to France for those buildings that the president lives in. They have a treaty with France, for example, that any artifact, any souvenir, any antique that they find from anywhere, it has to go in the French museum. And then sometimes it's duplicated and sent back to the member state. The airspace, Air France and any aircraft from France have unlimited access to the airspace. So if a French plane is flying, for example, from France to any of those member states, they don't have to give the call sign, they don't have to send notice, like flight plan, they can just fly into those member states. And it goes on and on and on and on. The natural resources from Niger, China buys it, I think, $120 per ton, something like that. But they only have to sell it to France for $35 a ton. So the problems they've had with the French over the years have just accumulated. And then the young generation have said, look, what are we benefiting from this relationship? What's going on? So there have been more and more pressure coming from the younger generation to the French government, to the French Republic, and it has just accumulated over the years. And that is why when those coups took place, you saw most of the young people rejoicing because for them they were being liberated. Russia is now coming in to say, hey, we're not going to charge you rent for your executive mansion or your presidential palace. The matter of fact, we're going to give you more money to face those places. We're not going to keep your currency in our foreign banks. We're going to give you your independence to back your own currency. We're going to give you oil against your foreign currency, your national reserve, to boost your currency. So those are some of the things between Russia and China, that they're making promises to those francophone countries that they are now leaning towards Russia and and China. So those are some of the problems. Those are some of the disadvantages that the French government begin to have in the francophone countries. And there are a lot of issues. Some of the treaties, you see those treaties, you won't believe it. They pay royalty to the French government. They pay commission on the foreign exchange to the French government. Everything they sell, everything they are under obligation, every major contract that has the backing from a foreign country, be it the European Union or France, it has to be given to a French company. So there were just too many things that they rebelled against. Now, am I justifying the coup? No. I believe in constitutional rule. But they were just saying, let's revisit some of those arrangements. Talking about the monetary aspect, before I went to the Political Affairs Committee in ECOWAS, I served as co-chair on the Finance and Audit Committee. And what we did with WAMA at the time was that to have the single currency in the region, it has to be done into phases. You cannot have it as a one approach to achieve it. The first thing is that the 8 francophone countries, their currency is being backed by France, and they have their own bank. So they have their own BCIO in Senegal that they control. They have the bank, they control the bank. Then Nigeria has its own currency, Ghana has its own currency, Liberia has its own currency, Sierra Leone, Gambia, Cape Verde. So our suggestion was, let's split it into 2 or 3 parts. You do a migration of the currency. So the 8 francophone countries, you add Guinea-Bissau, since Guinea-Bissau also uses the franc, you add them to it. You add Cape Verde to it, you make it 10. Those 10 countries come up with a single currency. Then you do Liberia, Nigeria, Ghana, Sierra Leone, and Gambia into a single currency. So when you do that, you're going to have 2 monetary zones in a region. And then over a period, you can now integrate those 2 currencies into a single currency. But as it is now, you have the francophone countries with the French CFA. You have Liberia with Liberian dollar / US dollar as the legal tender. You have Sierra Leone with the Leone. You have Gambia with the Dalasi. You have Nigeria with the Naira. So and Ghana with the cedis. So all of those countries have the individual currency. One thing is, all of those countries, including Liberia, so you see all of the Commonwealth countries. Now, all of them, all the Francophone, all the Anglophone countries in West Africa, with the exception of Liberia, are Commonwealth countries. So you put all the Commonwealth countries together with Liberia and give them a single currency, backed by the cocoa, the gold, the iron ore in Liberia, the oil in Nigeria. Give them one currency. All the Francophone countries, to include Guinea-Bissau and Cape Verde, give them one currency. And then over the period, you can migrate the 2 currencies, then to migrate 7 different currencies at the same time. That's been our approach. But the thing about the single currency is being more of a political decision than a technical financial decision, because France still wants her dominance in the region. So if you have a single currency, what happens to BCIO? So they have their own banks. They do their own transaction. They do their own trading. So once you have a single currency, then there's no need to have the BCIO. That bank is shut down. So even before the single currency was introduced, President Ouattara came and named a single currency when there were no mechanism put into place for single currency. So it'd be more of politics than actuality than technical financial or steps towards gaining a single currency. It's been strictly political.
You say you got one more question, Dr. Richie said?
Yes, please.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah. What is the role of the African Union in all of this?
So what we do in Africa as a whole, you have regional blocks. So like in the east, you have SADC. So SADC is with the African Union, but they champion activities within the eastern region. Then in West Africa, you have ECOWAS that champions the activities. So the African Union is very influential, but they gather most of they take lead, or they are directed by most of the action of ECOWAS, because ECOWAS is also recognized. So the African Union has been kind of a tricky situation for the African Union, because they've given ECOWAS the lead, and then there are some cases where those regional blocks are also divided. For example, there are countries that subscribe to the Arab League, some countries that subscribe to the OIC. So you have, even though you have one regional block, but then they also have a subset of other blocks. And sometimes those blocks interfere with the global decisions, and it gets conflicted. So it's a very tricky situation that we face with. So you have ECOWAS, but ECOWAS is not truly independent, because there are a lot of subsets of ECOWAS. For example, even in ECOWAS, you have the Man River Union. So unfortunately, the Man River Union has not been very strong over the years, but the Man River Union could take a decision, and then if ECOWAS even want to take a counter decision, they could influence ECOWAS' decision in that. So until we really get serious about having ECOWAS as a true regional bloc to lead the political, economic migration or process in the region, we always have these conflicts, because everyone you see, the problem with us, we're very territorial, and everyone wants to take care of the turf. And once you begin to be very territorial, then you conflict with most of the regional decisions that we try to implement, and it makes it very difficult. So the AU plays a very important role. The AU is very key, but don't forget, there are key members in the AU also that come from West Africa. For example, the Commissioner of Political Affairs in the AU is a Nigerian. So if the AU is making a major political decision and Nigeria interest is leading towards what ECOWAS wants to do, you expect that person to influence that decision to go that direction. And so people's first commitment is to the member state, then to the regional bloc, then continental bloc. That's the problem we have.
So Sunder Snow, thank you for joining Spoon tonight. You're kind of too free today. Unlike the past 6 years.
One of the topic was staying on. One of the topic was staying on.
So you knew exactly where I was going, right?
No, but go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No. What I'm saying is that you're really educating a lot of us. To be frank, you're helping us understand the region and the geopolitics that is involved when you talk about ECOWAS, EU, and all the other big folks like France, Russia, the Americas. So it's very important for us to know this thing. When I say you're kind of too free, you have never spoken on this like this on this issue. Seriously, I tell you, you have been restrained by the past 6 years under George Manawia to speak like you are speaking now. I've been friend with you. I always keep it straight. You have never spoken like this, but a lot of folks reading our live feed, they're appreciating you, especially when you talk about your communication to the president through Samuel Tualai and say we pay, and now we owe him 50 million. The issue with Tinubu coming up and say, I'm here, Nigeria in charge, just to find out, boom, they were hit with another coup d'etat. Then what was his reaction? This different things, it's okay for us as African to know. But let me ask you my question. If ECOWAS leaders meet and take a decision to say, listen, we're going to uplift the sanction, Do you think those three countries will remain?
Not for sure, not 100%, because again, there are external influence. So it's they're being now being influenced by Russia and China. So you could come and lift the sanction and say, well, we don't care about your sanction. Keep the sanction. They could just slap it back in your face. So it's not going to be an event. It's going to be a long process. And some of those issues or the way to handle it would be through cross-border relationships and, informal discussion. So it cannot just be based on a formal conversation or formal decision, because those countries have been pushing for the lifting of sanctions for some 2 years, some 2.5, some 1 year. So it takes more than just a mere pronouncement about lifting the sanction. It's going to be more about action and interaction between the different actors, and especially cross-border relationships. But don't forget, it's going to be backed by Russia and France decision.
Give Liberians some hope tonight, since you are representing Liberia. I mean, should we worry?
Well, I'm very concerned about the security sector, and I'm very happy that the National Security Advisor and I will be meeting. I hope that even before our meeting, that by this evening, by tomorrow, they need to have a meeting with the outgoing Minister of Defense, the Army Chief of Staff. They have a lot of information. We need to put our security, we need to speed up the confirmation, and thanks to the Pro Tem who have placed emphasis, thanks to Chairman Senator Momo Saros, who has also placed emphasis on it, we need to put into place urgently the national security sector, because it's very, very important at this time, because we need to get people at the border. Now, if there's any emergency tonight, for example, if there's a civil issue, who do we contact at the police headquarters? If there's something with the army, people will say, well, the chief of staff is still there. The chief of staff may take direct instruction from the commander-in-chief, who's the president, but where is the defense minister, who is who is between the chief of staff and the commander-in-chief? So my thing is, I don't care who's there.
You're making some good point. Help us understand then. Who do we look up to? Defense minister is not there. Liberia National Police IG is out.
Well, fortunately, you have a national security advisor that does not require confirmation hearing. So the national security advisor now will have to step up his game and coordinate all of the security actors. He has to be that point man to supervise all security agencies. Because there's no justice minister. There's no justice minister right now. There's no defense minister. There's no police IG. I don't know of NSA. There's no NSA. The chief of staff, I don't know if he's retained or retired. He's still
Not
the chief
yet.
of staff.
There's no announcement on him.
Yes. So you need the national security advisor to the president now. Is the most important person now in the security network that needs to coordinate all the security agencies until those security agencies begin to formulate itself through confirmation hearing and subsequent appointment and commissioned by the president.
So he's now, and thank you, because that's where folks coming in. He's coordinating Liberia National Police, Justice Ministry, NSA, Defense, and then he has the time to pick up my phone call. Are you kidding me, Snow?
Well, again, and since he's not subject to confirmation hearing, I can speak about it. I think he comes with vast experience.
Yes.
He's a very good lawyer, a human rights lawyer. He understands the terrain. He comes with vast experience, so I have explicit confidence in him that he would do well. The matter of fact, let me also admit, even before I reached out to him today, he called me first. He reached out to me today. So even before I got to him to send him those documents and then had a brief chat with him, he was the one who reached out to me. So I'm very confident that he will do a good job, but I just hope also that we can complete the appointments and then send it confirmation of those actors in the security sector so that we can, because our country needs some urgent security attention.
We're going to keep this because everybody have to leave from here in 7 minutes. Let's just leave together. So I'm going to ask one question. The guy's saying, please take one more question from them each. This Alex, Glendy, and Dr. Richardson.
Richardson, you can't wait to change the topic. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson, you can change the topic.
So let me ask my question on this one. On Snow, the issue about you and Alex Tyler coming from the same county to be on the ECOWAS to represent the country within the ECOWAS body. Can you explain? A lot of Liberians, when they heard the information, they were concerned.
So what happened during the formation of the Senate leadership? We actually had two blocks. You had the CDC and its alliance. You had the Unity Party and its alliance. So, like we did with and the Senate is a house of elders. Like we did with the election of the pro tem. You didn't see us going there to fight on the floor, to do this, to do that. We went and did most of I heard you guys criticizing it on Spoon one night, and I was just laughing because the way we did it was the most mature way to do it. And that's how the Senate have always acted. So what we did, Senator Tyler comes from the UP block, and I came from the CDC block. Now, because there were two ECOWAS seats, each block was given one slot. The CDC block that I came from decided that since Mr. Snow is already at ECOWAS, he's head of delegation, he has the experience, and he's the only person, because we have 5 members at the ECOWAS parliament. Unfortunately, 4 of my other colleagues didn't get re-elected. Senator Steve Zago did not get re-elected. Senator Janetta Kapi did not get re-elected. Representative Clarence Massacre did not get re-elected. Representative Haja Fatasan did not get re-elected. So our bloc decided Snow is still there. We need continuity. So we retain him at the bloc at the ECOWAS Parliament. The Unity Party bloc came up the nomination and they presented the name of Senator Tyler as their candidate to go to ECOWAS. How do we manage it in the county in Bomi, or how do we manage on the floor of the Senate? Both Senator Tyler and I are very experienced lawmakers, and I'm sure we'll be able to coordinate in the interest of the people of Bomi County. Yes, a lot of people have expressed concern, including the citizens of Bomi County. But we will work on modalities. We've started talking already, and we'll work on modalities to see how best we can make the right decision in the interest of Bomi County and, of course, Liberia.
So modality, just to be frank, the people want to know, you and Alex Starter will not leave the country together to go.
I can promise you that. For example, the inaugural ceremony, the inaugural session will be in March. He has to go to take his oath. I have to go to take my oath. So we both have to leave the country at that time. Now, Speaker Tyler wouldn't take office at the ECOWAS Parliament until March, somewhere middle of March, end of March, somewhere there. All right? I continue my work. I'm supposed to leave the country tomorrow. I cannot leave because of the president's speech and confirmation there in Camille. But I'll be leaving shortly to go on other assignments. I have elections coming up in Senegal. I have parliamentary election coming up in Togo. We have validatory session in Sierra Leone. We're now talking about going into Mali, something like that. So I still have work ongoing. When we get to the portion of the ECOWAS Parliament, when Mr. Tyler and I would have to represent Liberia, we will have to take the right decision for the people of Bomi County and Liberia. And we have started that discussion already. We've not finalized it yet, how we're going to work on the modalities. So it's going to be premature for me to explain on how we're going to do it. But we have both made commitment to address the concerns of our people.
Thank you very much, Honorable Snow. We're going to do one question, Dr. Richardson, Glenn, and Alex. Then we're going to call this thing a day. Thank you very much for my I'm done with my
right. I'm trying to change the subject over here.
Yeah, any question already.
So my question to you, and I'm taking this from a viewer here who's asking, why are you declaring your asset?
I saw a post today. One of my sisters sent me a post. Somebody said, Senator Snow said he'd rather resign than to declare his asset. And I was laughing about it. I look forward to, the matter of fact, I've contacted the real property division at the LRA to redo the assessment of my properties. So they promised me that they will complete that process by Tuesday. I'm hopeful that I will declare my assets before the weekend. So I'm very hopeful that I will declare my assets between tomorrow and Friday. I will publicly declare my assets.
You send it to us, or you put it on Facebook? We say publicly.
I will call the law says we'll call the Secretary of the Senate, and I will present it to him in the clear of the view of the media, and he will subsequently present that to the Liberal Anti-Corruption Commission.
I'm sure there were a lot of us who were interested in seeing how.
But why you want to see my asset? I don't see your own. Why you want to see my own?
You are honorable. Me, I plebeian, you honorable.
In keeping with the law, in everything that the law says, I will abide by it and I will declare my asset, and you will see it.
Thank you, Snow.
Do you regret
Glendy?
supporting CDC?
No, not at all. Not at all. No.
Okay. Sorry,
I believe in the tenets of democracy. I decided I was going to support the CDC. So unfortunately he did not win. I'm very glad that he gracefully bowed out. He conceded. He has left the show. We are now under obligation to support the ruling establishment because if they succeed, Liberia succeeds. So I have no regret. And I'm sure you have no regret supporting Alexander Cummings, who got 2% of the votes.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah, I don't, but Alexander Cummings didn't take the Liberian people privilege away from them. He didn't deny. He wasn't posted in human rights reports.
So we gotta go to Glendy and Alex because we gotta go home.
There wasn't two missing boys under his administration. There wasn't auditors.
Dr. Regency, do you need my time?
Yes, because I'm ready for him right now.
You can have my time, Dr. Regency. You can have my time.
That Regency, I'm sure it's based on those concerns that Liberian people decided not to vote for him.
And precisely, that's why I asked you, do you regret because you are supporting him?
Glendy, can you ask your question? Let's go.
I talk to my sister.
Okay, Dr. Richardson, you have Glendy time. Dr. Richardson, you have Glendy time. Can you go ahead? Can you go ahead? You have Glendy time.
I'm sorry. Go ahead, Glendy. I'll just joking with the senator.
So, Honorable Snow, I'm one person who I constantly watch when you all are seated and in office doing your work. I religiously watch it. And I'm hoping that this new Senate, that the things that we saw before, the disruptions, people talking above one another, people acting like they're not in session, people coming late to work. I would hope that those things will be different under this new era and new term. But I want to ask you, what do we have to look forward to now that you have a second woman pro tem in the name of Yomli Kangwa Lawrence? What are we to look forward to for this new sitting?
So I'm very optimistic about the composition of the new Senate. Just this afternoon, I was in a conversation with former President Sirleaf, and we had similar conversation where you have 3 former speakers on the floor. You have 2 former pro tems on the floor. You have 2 former foreign ministers on the floor. You have a former minister of state on the floor. You can name a minister of finance on the floor. So the composition of the current Senate, it says a lot. And it was clearly manifested during the Senate leadership election. The way that election was handled, the way we proceeded a few days to the election, how we were able to negotiate the different positions and came up with a clear sheet about everybody. People, even Western Guy Finney withdrawing from the race on the election day, it spoke maturity, it spoke volume of his character. So I'm very optimistic that this Senate is going to do a better job for Liberia. I'm very happy that I happen to be one of the members of that Senate. And the issue about sometimes joking on the floor, I'm one of those that joke a lot, so I'm sure you're talking to me because I joke a lot. Yeah, I joke a lot on the floor. And I say this to my colleague. I first got elected in 2005. Today, there's Prince Johnson, there's Thomas Fowler, there's Zoe Penner, and Edwin Snow. We are the longest serving legislators today in Liberia, the 4 of us. And during those many years of my representation at the legislature, I've seen my colleagues, some of them die from pressure. I've seen some of them getting sick and falling off for different reasons. And I tell my colleagues sometimes, you can be very, like Jada Regency and I just now, we laugh about it, but she was asking a very serious question. And I responded with a very serious response to equip to her question, but we both laughed about it. It didn't mean we joked about it. So what I'm trying to say is I tell my colleagues sometimes, you have to add a little bit of humor in what we do so that we don't fall off and just, this job that you all think is an easy job is a very difficult job. And sometimes you have to add a little bit of humor flavor in it so that you de-stress yourself as you do the people's job. But the Senate has never been the flow where we insult each other or we abuse people or carry on, no. Sometimes it's light joke, dilute the topic, dilute the conversation, but still end up making the point. So if that's not satisfactory to the public, we try to minimize it.
No, it's
That's
okay. It's just every now and then there's some form of disruption, but it's okay. And to even see that sometimes you guys don't even have air conditioning, but you can still sit there and talk.
Well, sometimes there's no light, but we still sit and talk. That's the people's job. We represent Liberia. So the Senate, the legislature is a complete mirror of Liberia. So in that legislature, you will find people who are legally inclined. You will find people who are doctors. You will find people who will relate to the Zogos. You will find people who relate to the pastors. You will find people who relate to the imam. So all of us in that building together, you can find everybody get their own representative there.
True.
So, it's a conglomeration of the national structure of, of Liberia. Now, talking about Yumli Kanga, I was one of those that led the campaign for her election as pro tem. Even though I came from the CDC and Alliance bloc, but I and Standard would tell you way back, I told him I was going to support Yumli. Yumli is someone that I know very well. We grew up together. We're very, very close family friends, and I trust her ability to lead. I'm sure she will make a very good pro tem. Already, she has started a very excellent job. She's very concerned about, she appointed me as I got elected actually. I got elected as chair on modernization, and she's very concerned about that committee. Before I've been in the legislature for all these years. And I've always heard about the Committee on Modernization and Project. I've never really paid attention to that committee. And she invited me to her office one day and said, look, this is the committee, this is the face of the legislature. I really want you to get involved. Then she said to me, I want you to go and see where our stenographer and secretary, where they work from. I'm co-chairing that committee by Amara Kone. So I invited Amara Kone and said, let's go and see where our people work. And you wouldn't believe it. I went there on Thursday. No air condition, no window curtains. The window glasses are all for them to get fresh air. The sun is in there. They don't even have typewriter. They have nothing. And she said to me, Senator Snow, this is my first priority. Before we do anything about any senator here talking about even furnishing the office, let us furnish that place first.
Beautiful.
So yesterday, I was busy at the Capitol building to make sure when the pro tem gets to work on Monday, she will see a new secretary with window curtains, with air conditioning, and new decks. And we achieved that yesterday.
Thank you.
I believe in her leadership. I strongly believe in Senator Kanga Lawrence leadership. And I'm going to give, and that's why I had a block, I had a candidate, but I deviated from that and I supported her because I'm a strong believer in her leadership. And I'm sure she's going to make us a very good pro tem.
Thank you.
You know, I again, Senator Snow, let me just let Alex ask this one question because it is important to say to everyone, indeed you did. You sent me that text and, I didn't know why I didn't say it. I usually say everything. I kept it for a very long time.
Yeah, you did, yeah.
Yeah, I'm regretting why I didn't say it prior, but you sent me the text and you say, you and Zopena were supporting Yombly, and I shouldn't even worry about your support or Zopena's support. So thank you again for bringing it up. And I think she's going to do a pretty good job. And let's take us home with your question, sir.
Yes, thank you. Edwin, I wanted to ask you a different question about the SONA, but then your response to Glendy here put me into a different mindset that I have to ask you this question about our country's budget, because you're talking about modernization and you're talking about fixing your offices, putting air conditioning inside. What we see our budget more go towards payroll. Of course, people got to get paid. The bulk of our budget, at least 55% of our budget goes to payroll. The other one goes to goods and services, and little is left for what we call the PSIP, the private sector investment project. So, and then the people feel left out. As we analyze the budget, we who know about budgeting, when we analyze the budget, we see that the people left out. Most bulk of the money goes to the Ministry of State, bulk of the money goes to presidential project, and this thing for more akin towards election and people winning, and people have said over and over that a lot of the money goes to the legislature as well. So is there, under this 55th legislature, is there any thought process that will begin to change our budget as we grow our budget so that it goes towards more of the people, things for the people, more, the bread and butter issues?
Alex, the first, if I know you discussed that one time, but the first, I think 4 or 5 appointments that were made by President Boakai, you had in 2018, Samuel Twer took over from Burma Kamara. In 2024, Burma Kamara is taking over from Samuel Twer. In 2017, Gregory Coleman, Patrick Slough took over from Gregory Coleman. Now Gregory Coleman is taking over from Patrick Slough. Then, of course, the Minister of State, unfortunately, Magay got into trouble, but the last Minister of State in Ellie's government is now coming back as Minister of State. The point I'm trying to make is that most of the actors so far are knowledgeable about the running of government, and especially in the Liberian context. I had a very good relationship with Burma Kamara when he was Minister of Finance. Even when he left government, when he used to go on your show, most time when he wanted the budget, copy of the budget, wanted some information, he sent me a personal text message, and I would endeavor to send him whatever information he wanted. When he had some issues, he contacted me and we tried to resolve it. I believe that he would make a very good finance minister. And unfortunately, I shouldn't be doing this because he'll be facing confirmation hearing by the Senate. But I know of him, and that's why I spoke. That's why I deliberately talk about coming from the former regime, because his character has not changed. So if he was confirmed then and left with white sheet, untinted character, I'm sure he's still the same decent person that we left off in 2017, 2018. So I believe that the budget is going to be prioritizing the people. Now, what we need to look at, and which is the catch-22 for the government, and the government put a good strategy together. Fortunately, again, Senator Yomli Kanga Lawrence, the pro tem, has called for an early retreat of the Senate, not just to look at the Senate, but to see the national program of Liberia. How do we prioritize infrastructure development in working in line with the executive? How do we prioritize the need of our people? How do we continue some of those programs from the WIA-led government that benefited the citizens? How do we discontinue some of those programs that did not make a positive impact on our people? Now, I'm sure at the end of that retreat, we're now going to call on the economic management team of the government to sit with us and look at the need priorities and see how best we can put Liberia back on the right trajectory. So what am I trying to say? Over the last few years, the past government had its own priorities. Are those necessarily the same priorities of the Becker-led government? Maybe not. So those priorities will be rescheduled, like you said. You cannot have almost over 70% of your budget just on payroll. I mean, you're not going to achieve anything. How can we look at that? And that's why we thought when the harmonization came in that some of those changes were going to reflect through the harmonization program. Unfortunately, maybe it did not reflect that way. That's why Liberian people made a decision they made on November 14th. So the new government now have to revisit some of those programs and see how best. Look, it pains our heart when you get in the aircraft and fly to the neighboring countries and you see infrastructure development and you're not seeing anything here. But most importantly, over the last few years, we have not benefited significantly from EU projects, EU-funded projects, from US projects. We had a good relationship going with China until I think there was a vote against China and they halted all the projects in Liberia. If you look at today, I was in the conversation, if you look at the road from Bowater South to Freetown, one of the best roads in our region today, it wasn't funded by the Sierra Leonean government. It was funded by the EU. And the reason why the EU funded that road, because it has to do with the international highway that links Sierra Leone and Liberia. Because of some problems Liberia may have had over the period, EU suspended most of the infrastructure projects. This government now has to re-engage. You have to get busy with Brussels. Hit Brussels hard. The Liberia democratic credential is speaking very well. We have had 2 successful elections, very good transitions. Liberia democratic credential is on a high pedestal right now. It's a time that the government hit. This is a honeymoon period. This is when you hit the nail on the head. So I believe that Bernard Kamara and the economic team that will get together will begin to hit our bilateral partners, will begin to hit regional partners, and see how best we can look at road. I'm very excited that the President Boyka has a residence in Bomi, and he's there almost every weekend. So I sure one of the main highways that we look at now will be the Bomi Highway. So if we have to go through the EU, through a bilateral arrangement, through the National Road Fund, we'll be looking at different projects in Liberia, and I show that we will have a different approach than what we had in the last 6 years.
No,
Thank you very much,
just as a
Albert.
follow-up,
So,
just as a follow-up, the reason why I'm asking a question is not about the Minister of Finance. It's not about the executive branch of government. The executive branch of government presents a budget to you, and you are the people's deputy. So you are supposed to represent the people and make sure that the people get the good of the budget. So this is not. My question is not a function of the finance minister. It's a function of the legislature.
And maybe you didn't get me. I talk about the retreat.
Okay.
I said that the Senate is going for a retreat to look at the national structures, to look at all of those things. And then once we derive at what we think is good for the country, we now got to bring in the executive so that it's implemented, because that's the implementing arm. That's why I started answering your question about the retreat that's being called by the pro tem.
Okay. Thank you.
Sure.
Honorable Snow, we got a lot to talk about. We want to say thank you. We hope to have you again after the SONA, after your trip within the region, that you can help us understand more about the geopolitics when you talk about ECOWAS and the rest of the region. Also want to know more about what is ahead of bombing. You represented this county a lot of stuff during the election. We hope now that people begin to understand the goodwill of those investment in bombing and how they're going to help them. Your working relationship with Alex Starter and the committee, the representative, and your new job, your new committee. You spoke a little bit about, the staffing in the area where you have decorated and put AC, beautiful. But when you do it within the entire portion of the Senate, are we going to see something new? Those are some of the things we need to discuss about. I wanted to ask you your expectation about the SONA. What you expect the president to say now he's coming to your house? You read it, forget about everything I just said, but talk to us about this. He coming into your house. The Senate and the representative folks came together. You guys organized that group, the program tomorrow. I hope there will be no fainting. There will be no heat exhaustion.
I can assure you tomorrow the microphones will work, the air conditioning will work. So the president will speak under a very cool atmosphere tomorrow. The air conditioning going to work, the microphone going to work tomorrow. I'm excited. For 12 years, Vice President Boyka sat in that seat and listened to Madam Salif deliver her SONA. The first time after watching her for 12 years, he's going to be delivering his SONA for the first time tomorrow. I'm very excited. I look forward to him talking about rebuilding this country. I look forward to him talking about, don't forget the election was basically done on I wouldn't say tribal line, but regional lines. You had an election where Mr. Weah won the southeastern region where he came from. He defeated even Mr. Cummings, who came from Maryland. I'm looking at the election where Mr. Becker won Lofa County, where he came from.
Cummings won Maryland. I thought he did.
He didn't.
Why you keep picking first with Francine?
When I'm on the show, she always fussing with me when I'm on the show. So So Jeremiah Kuhn and the Unity Party won Nima County. Mr. Becker won Bomi County, where his wife coming from. He won Bapolu, which is an extension of Lofa. So the country is divided on regional line. I'll be looking at the president's agenda for reconciling this country. I'll be looking at his developmental agenda. I'll be looking at his agenda in revisiting some of the priority projects of the Weah-led government. The structure of civil servants, the commodity prices. How do we structure prices? Some commodities are also have political implications, like rice and petroleum products. How do we address those issues? I'll be looking forward to him talking about accountability and the fight against corruption. Because don't forget, in Liberia, most times when we talk about corruption in public place, most time is based on perception. How now can we actualize it? Do we go after those of us that have been accused? Can you subject us to proper investigation and others so that if we are liable, we are brought to books. If we
Right.
are innocent, we are we are vindicated, because perception sometimes just threw you off the bus. So I'll be looking at a transparent system that will actually give a clear picture of who we are and where we stand. And I'll be looking at the SONA tomorrow that will bring Liberia back. We'll be having a SONA tomorrow that we have. Unfortunately, Mr. Weir is out of the country, but we will have had two former presidents watching the SONA tomorrow. We're going to have former Chief Justice still alive, Justice Kobo will be watching the SONA tomorrow. So Liberia political credential is fast improving. We're going to have major political leaders. I saw the inauguration on a serious note where I saw Mr. Cummings, sitting at the inauguration. And I was disappointed where he sat, he and Charlene. I was just with Charlene this evening. I was disappointed where they sat. But again, as you know, the inauguration had
Yeah, it was a flop.
Yeah,
It
it had a so I'm looking forward to listening to him. I believe that he will speak for about an hour. I'm sure that he wouldn't speak for less than 1 hour tomorrow, especially in a very comfortable environment.
Thank you very much, Honorable Edwin Mervyn Snow. This time, as you can see, I didn't reveal our text. The people say I should be more disciplined. Speak when only I'm asked to, because now Joseph Barker is in power. I'm not, I don't know, it's hard to adjust to it because I like to be free. You asked two very important questions when you were speaking. One on the chief of staff, information reaching us. I cannot say it, but and the defense minister. And also, you're now saying that, well, he will speak for 1 hour or so. I know what I know. You know what you know. But I want to say thank you for joining us. Man, you did extremely well today. I ain't seen nothing bad about you today, though. Seriously. I'm reading this thing.
It's a new day.
Yeah.
Thank God for going on the show.
Oh, maybe. Thank you, Chief. It's good to have you.
That was a nice show. Thank you very much. Happy New Year. Thank you, Dr. Richardson. Nice seeing you all.
Bye.
Alex, I'll call you.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Stan.
Thank you, Chief. All right. Man, we have a very quiet show. That was so beautiful. It was very quiet. What a day. And we are out of here 6:21. What's on your mind, Dr. Richardson? I think Snow educated us today about the region.
Definitely. I think the fact that we have our representative at ECOWAS paid off today. He did tell us the state of, ECOWAS and how Liberia is at an interesting place. There's security risk for us if those three countries decide to, leave ECOWAS and other shifting occurs in the region. Liberia could be put in a bad place. Every time they think about America and want to attack America, they can start with us. That's concerning to me.
It is scary, though. It is.
Yeah. So I took that, but I just, I hope that they can dissolve this matter by speaking about the African unity. All of these guys, whether it's France, Russia, America, they all are coming there for something. I've lived away from Liberia enough and live in this culture enough to know that there's always an exchange. It's a transactional relationship when it comes to people who are not from our descent. So I think we need to get wiser on that. I hope they can use that bargaining chip with Niger, Mali, and Burkina Faso and say, listen, Russia will only do what France did to you guys at a different scale. Your resources now will have to go to Russia. Why don't you just stay with us and let's try to build, West Africa as a whole. So I hope that they can make some headways over there. Lastly, Snow is somebody to watch out for. I have a sense Snow is running for president in 2029. I know it's still early, but you guys watch my word.
Well, we're going to come back to your own thinking. I believe Alex is going to say the same thing. A lot of folks will be running 2029. These guys that are upbeat, believing that Joseph Barker will not run again. So it will be an open field, and we want to see what is what. But Dr. Richardson, thank you. Alex, you're closing.
As Joseph Barker clearly said that he was not running After
No, I said
20.
probably. I'm not saying. I'm not yet to say. I said probably he will not run again. Looking at his 79 years, so 6 years he will be 85. There's a possibility he won't run again, Alex. Let's just say as it is.
We'll see. But I think, I mean, it's not, try to answer the question, but this it's a difficult position with ECOWAS right now. This is a tough game. They have their back against the wall with the fact that they're not able to resolve this, the country's problem, but yet, they want to flex their muscles, so it makes it difficult. And with this whole Russia-China dynamics, they need to do a lot of work to undo what is happening, because it means this could lead to Edwin said, this could lead to a serious problem with ECOWAS, maybe its viability. I would say that. But again, I'm excited about the SONA, the State of the Nation address tomorrow. I wish I would have the time. I would try to make the time. Again, next week, Monday is a tough day for me at work, and in fact, the next 2 weeks is tough for me. But I'm interested in the president's speech, and I hope I will be on the show to help to analyze the speech.
Yeah, it's going to be a big one tomorrow. Yeah, if you available, you will come and talk to us about the financial projection the president will be making tomorrow. And a lot of people talking about the 100 days. It's big, knowing exactly where we are. But something Snow said, which is very, very concerning, and folks need to look in that direction. Are we there yet when you talk about our security? Different minister, not Justice Minister, Liberal National Police IG, the NSA, and now everything is on the shoulder on Samuel Kofi Wu's shoulder, and this is big. But we would get there. It would be important for us to see to it that this week after the SONA, within the next 2 weeks, what you expect, Alex? They should confirm or deny, but something must happen, correct?
I see that there'll be more appointments rolling after the SONA. A lot of
people confirmation now, because if you look at all the ministry, they are all covered. So confirmation now they got to speed up the confirmation process to allow these guys to get to work.
Yes, but our security, officers are not in place here. But yes, you're right. After the SONA, and the senators should be in place, because it's by committee, so all the committees should get to work in the confirmation. It makes to make it fast as much as possible, but credible.
It should be credible, and that we're going to bring in the public work destiny, the man that was just appointed to run public work Guinness. He will be our guest on Tuesday. We're going to be bringing the general minister designate, our own Women Colley. She will be joining us this week. We'll be bringing them in to talk to the Liberian people like Amin Moda did, and to lay out their plans. I want to say thank you very much. We appreciate you, Dr. Richardson, Alex Coffey, and Glennie. Glennie had to run, so she left from here at 6 o'clock. A great show. Thanks to Eden Snow. We'll be watching and see what is happening. If you have anything to speak now, or forever hold your peace, because we're leaving. I know you'll be with us tomorrow, Alex.
Yeah, I appreciate Francine on the show. The woman, a strong woman. She's held her ground against a lot of odds. And
thank you, Alex. That's not
easy. She's the lead moderator, but whenever I appear, she says, "Stanton, you do it." So we are coming up with our flyer, and the show has been turned over to Dr. Richardson. So if you see Dr. Richardson big picture, don't call me, because she's the lead moderator. She will be carrying the lead flyer portion. That portion on the flyer will be Dr. Richardson.
I'm not leaving that talking about the woman here now.
My man, but I know what you're talking about, clapping. Tati Ekwa, number two.
I understand I want to, but it's okay. But thank you, Alex.
Your contact was a funde begin.
All the way.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I can't call Kula for fun, yes, so we can speak.
Yeah, go ahead, try. She will answer you. Go ahead. But again, Alex, thank you, man. Dr. Richardson, thanks a lot.
Bye-bye.
Nelson, good to have you back again. We had a wonderful show. Yeah, we are. We got to go, man. You know what? The Kansas City won. I'm happy. 17-10.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
17-10?
Yeah, Kansas City won. Each touchdown is 7 points of free goal is 3 points. So they beat the Baltimore. That's why you see Glennie running because she live in Maryland, Virginia area. That's their team. So Kansas City beat Baltimore, and therefore that's Rich Glennie is running. She got mad. I was texting her. She got mad, and But I'm happy Kansas City won. I was watching again a little bit, giving it cross C, and that's a good. It was a good game. It was
I think
a good.
someone kept asking in the comment section.
Don't
What
mind them. Yeah, the way you're looking at it, the CEO focus. Don't mind it. They know exactly. They themselves were watching the game too. Don't listen to them. And Nelson, your friend Thomas Square, it looked like he got I tried
Yeah,
to send him a hanger.
yeah. Thomas Kume he has a wedding
Anniversary, right?
anniversary.
Coming
Yeah,
up tomorrow.
yeah,
But
tomorrow.
you still also put a picture up, man. You put a picture up. I mean, 10 minutes I'm hungry. But the show was great, though. I really appreciate Edwin Snow. Everybody began to settle in, Nelson. Look at Edwin Snow explanation today. That's what I'm saying. He's more relaxed now than 6 years ago. I mean, he did extremely well today. Seriously. And people say he did extremely well. I really appreciate Snow. Seriously. He helped us understand the region and how it is for ECOWAS. And I hope we took away something that will be very helpful for our country, Liberia. And trust me, Edwin Snow on top of his game. And I know Edwin Snow begin to pivot now. Like Dr. Richie said, maybe he's looking at the 2029. He really, really trying to serve the country, serve the Liberian people, pivot himself and say, I am your guy. You get what I'm saying? Because if Edwin Snow behaved like the Edwin Snow of old, I must tell you something, it would be bad for Edwin Snow. So if you now understand that he's pivoting to say, listen, let me get myself right. Let me be right in that middle because I know how it is. If I want to be part of the group to say, listen, I want to run for president, I want to be vice president, he must come in the middle. He should serve the people of Burma. He should serve the people of Liberia. And he should remove himself from all that wahala that used to hang on him. And I think he did extremely well today, Nelson. He did.
Yeah, and CEO, the senator is very strategic. I remember when he was the representative of District 6, Montserrat County. Not a lot of people knew that Senator Snow now was eyeing a seat in Bowman County. Gradually, he started to do his work far ahead of time. And before we knew it, boom, Senator Snow already had a route in Bowman County. And before all the other guys in Bowman could even think of trying to, battle him, it was already done. So I think he's a very strategic person, and he's trying to play the card even ahead of time. Yeah.
And I want people say, oh, Senator, you believe Snow now? It's not about who I believe. It's about the fact that he presented himself well today, Nelson. Listen, I can attack Snow. I can go after Snow. Snow know that very well. But sometimes you got to understand the mindset of a human being. And if Snow can go back and do more than what he did before for bombing, people will appreciate him even more. Go after Western Cluster and make sure the people of Burma and Liberia benefit. And I think that's where he's going. I think, listen, what I'm hearing, I think Snow trying to be aggressive because this election taught Snow a lesson. This election, Snow lost, what's the lady name? Lasana Webb. Fina. That her name, Fina?
Yeah, Fina Lasana.
Fina Lasana. He put a woman hand up. They beat the woman.
Yeah.
The other guy that was running against Alex Tyler, what's his name? He put a guy hand up, they beat him. Snow had people in the race that they beat. So this was a message going directly to Snow. My man, check yourself. You don't have it like that. Check yourself. And that's exactly what he's doing. So working along with Yombly, DeLon, and the rest of the cat. Look, he's talking about Amara Corner. So come with me, Amara. Let's go check this thing out that Yombly wants us to check out. So they know exactly that 6 years is about 66 days away. 6 years is just right around the corner. If he doesn't perform and check himself and
help the people of Bombay that they can get out of the mess they are in right now. Snow will be a former senator. And that's why you see Snow presenting himself well today. And I hope he can continue on with that presentation. I hope he can deliver for his people. He said he will declare his assets. That's a big one.
Yeah.
We want to see what is Snow assets. He said he listened to Yomli Kanga Lawrence and he respect her leadership and he believed that she going to do well. That's big. Snow was right. Look, when Snow sent me the message about Yomli, and I missed the thing so bad, I should have announced it, man. But it's good I didn't. Yeah, but Snow was on record. He sent me the text message. He said, stand on, forget about Zopen, and we're going to support Yomli. It's right here. So all these things, I'm not here to elevate Snow. We all know Snow, but I'm telling you, he is repositioning himself. He is repositioning himself to what Dr. Richardson said. Snow is one of the many senators out there are in 2029. And make no mistake about it. He will try, if you talk about cut your salary, he will say, I'm in. Don't take the 30,000. He will tell you yes. Declare your asset. He tell you yes. He will work the chalk line. Let bring Western Cluster back. Let it give more for the people of Bowman. Snow will put his hand on and say, I agree. And you understand that he's doing this because it's time to pay it. That's politics.
Yeah. And I think CEO Senator Snow is equally benefiting from this whole 9 years thing for the senators, which is something that plays in their favor a whole lot. If we had a situation with the other senators, if Senator Snow was in the category of those senators who were contesting in the election,
I'm not cutting you off.
it would have been a tough one.
I'm not cutting you off, Nelson. Why do you tell me I'm elevating Snow? I'm not making a mistake here. Snow said he would declare his assets. I don't need to elevate Snow. But let's say exactly what he said on the show. We beat on Snow during the whole election. Everybody hands he put out to beat them because we beat on him. But if this man can come in the middle and talk about Liberia and talk about the people of Bombay and give back to the people of Bombay that have given him the chance to represent them, well, that's a good thing. We want people to help their district, their county, and that would be the best thing Snow can ever do. And I think he did extremely well today. So Ludu, listen, come and play Ludu. That's your name, Ludu. But look at my own cousin, Angeline with Peter. Angeline better leave me alone. Angeline went to Liberia, she met Snow. Now she say, hey, cousin, start talking about Snow. I'm not praising Snow, though. I'm saying as it is. Snow is moving in the middle. And because he's moving in the middle, because he got a target for 2029. That's the fact. Okay?
And time is on his side. He has more time.
Oh, yeah. Time is on his side. He is prepared.
Yeah.
Time is on his side. I'm just going to go back to the library again. Snow will take her to the farm and kill goat soup and she will eat it. Bring her friend in. Yeah, then she will be happy. Don't matter. My cousin, the ex, we are Peter's daughter. She, the Papa and my uncle. So I want to say thanks, man. A very, very fun program today. Tomorrow we'll be talking about the State of the Nation address, and Spoon Team will be there. We'll be talking about everything, the State of the Nation address. And I'm so happy that JMB left Bombay. He's home. He's prepared to deliver the State of the Nation address. He's well rested, and he will be coming sharp tomorrow. Again, it will be a wonderful program, and we'll have the post State of the Nation address on the Spoon Talk tomorrow. We're going to be bringing in other folks to join us, and talk about the way forward. After listening to the address, we'll call a couple of senators. We'll reach out to party leaders, and we'll hear from them. We'll do some takeaway from the address. Whether Jose Yuman Parker will deliver in the first 100 days. We want to say thank you for joining us, Nelson. Have a wonderful Nelson. Your friend calling too, but let's just wish him happy anniversary, Thomas Kuman.
Yeah, CEO, thank you so much. Yes, thank you so much. Yes, our first anniversary. It's not an easy thing. We just want to bless God so much for.
Thomas, thank you very much. Happy anniversary. You made it 1 year. You can make it 100 years. Continue doing what you're doing. Trust God. Be patient. Don't get angry. Everything that Madam says, say yes.
Don't listen to Nelson. Everything the madam said, just say yes. Once you say yes, you will be fine. All right?
That's right.
If she give you small food, say yes. If she say attire, say yes. If she say go in the market for today, say yes. Get the children to school, say yes. Once you say yes, you will live for 100 years in that way. That's all I do. I just say yes. I don't argue. So yeah. But happy anniversary to you.
I'm not listening to Nelson.
Don't listen to Nelson, my man.
I mean, you get by a bus.
Oh, man, sorry. I just saying something.
Okay, I think it.
Happy anniversary, man. We wish you well.
Okay, sorry.
All right. Hi to the madam for us. Yeah. So he's
And the
right.
man said you will not listen to me.
No, my man, you want to live. I'm telling you, you want to live long. Just say yes to anything they say, and you will live long. That's all you got to do. Thank you, Nelson. Have a good one, man. We got to go. Take care.
Yes,
Bye,
sir.
folks. Thank you for joining us. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Okay, folks, that's how we like to draw down the curtains on Spoon Talk tonight. Thanks to all of you across the world who have been following the program. We appreciate you. Those of you who have been following via radio, we say thank you for following the program tonight. We've been streaming live across the Spoon Network, Spoon 107.5, Fabric 101.1, and Super 95.5. And thanks to all the radio stations that are always relaying this program: Trust 88.7 FM, Premium 98.1 FM. You have Gibby 90.9 FM, and of course, Trend 104.7 in Grand Creek County. Thanks to those of you following online. We've been coming to you live on Facebook, Spoon TV, Fabric TV, and Super TV. For YouTube, our handle is Spoon Talk Live. Thanks to all of you who always make up time for Spoon Talk. We'll be back tomorrow with another edition of the program. It's going to be fascinating, and you don't want to miss that. Until then, I'm Nelson Colette. Have a good night, and bye-bye for now.
Yes, sir. A special one from the CEO, Stan coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band. Charge it.